Hello and welcome back to Frog Boy X1 Gaming and Tech Reviews. I'm Andrew, and today we are going to be hanging out with Chris Mizo. Today, I met Chris at CES 2026, and we went to the AMD showcase. It was actually pretty cool. Chris is definitely in line with what you guys are seeing. He just recently reviewed the 9950X 3D2. I was thinking about getting one actually this weekend, but I decided against that. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you what he's all about, and then we are going to get into talking about the devaluation of hardware and software and everything from two different points of view. So go ahead, Chris, take over.
Sure. I'm Chris Mizo. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, I usually talk about PC and tech. Usually I do PC hardware reviews. I also review accessories and much more, displays and whichever you think of. More or so recently, we've been talking about how expensive everything truly is, especially when it comes to the hardware aspect. As you've seen, the one of the most expensive and certainly one of the least that you would expect to be the most expensive is the storage space.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely continue on to that in a bit.
So guys, this is a long time coming. I tried to get Chris on a while back, but he's been pretty busy. All of us were pretty busy after CES. There was just so much. I'm pretty sure Chris was there all the time, the whole time. I left early. I wasn't able to bring as much coverage. Next year will be different. I will be there the full time, but I've noticed that since CES or since the AI thing has popped off, obviously RAM and storage has gotten significantly more expensive. I paid $400 for a set of RAM in this like third build that I have, so I get it, like I understand it, but I also want to, kind of come at this from another point of view because Chris is on board with like the whole thing getting more expensive. And I've noticed that, but I've also noticed that there's like this devaluation going on over hardware, but I also feel like there's a silver lining that people just aren't completely understanding, at least from my point of view. And I've tested multiple different levels of hardware from freaking handhelds all the way up to high end RTX 5090 builds. And what I'm starting to understand is that we don't need as much hardware as we used to. Even like a 9060 XT 8 gigabyte GPU is still very, very decent at performance. Obviously, a 9600X CPU is very, very good, especially for these games. So what do you think about that, Chris? Like, how do how do you see things like handhelds? I've noticed that you do some content about handhelds and stuff too, and like the prices. Obviously, I paid $1,000 for Xbox Ally X. We've seen $2,000 prices for Lenovo Legion Go, and
Oh
so
yeah.
I kind of want to get your input on that, man. Like you've probably been doing the PC stuff a lot longer than me. I've only got about 4 years with it.
Yeah, so I've been into PCs for a really long time. I've actually done it since I was about roughly I would say about 10 or 11. It all started with the family PC and I was there pretty much for the first Intel processor. But going on from that, speaking of today's standards when it comes to the handled side, especially when you come to the MSI Claw, or you go for the Asus ROG Xbox Ally, and you also have the Lenovo Legion Go 2, you have the Steam Deck, and there's such more variants now when it comes to handhelds. Now you even have other brands that are pretty much like AO Neo and some of the ones that you typically don't hear in the US as well. That is part of that whole family. Now, the one that usually ends up running a lot of that hardware is usually AMD's SoCs, and their SoCs are really excellent when it comes to that side. I believe one of the most powerful ones that they currently have is the 3AI9 395.
Yeah.
Of course, it's more expensive as you go
Yeah.
further up into the processor tier. But of course, I think it definitely is here to stay because we become so accustomed to portability and being really to the point of the convenience factor to if you're whether you're taking a flight somewhere you don't have to worry about bringing a large PC rig with you
Yeah.
in order for you to play your games, so that is a large bonus to it. Now, of course, when it comes to the power side of things, the really truly wonderful part of handhelds is the fact that you're able to bring it with you on the go and not needing to have to really worry about plugging it in for a power source. Now, this is the amazing part to me is the fact that you're able to game on something like the Xbox Ally X and be
Yeah.
able to pull like about 2 to 3 hours on a handheld that you could play Resident Evil Requiem with no problem.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And I think, again, it's just going to further advance. I think the biggest and one of the most difficult obstacles when it comes to it is, of course, people want even more battery life. Of
Yeah.
course, 3 hours seems like it doesn't sound like enough. It sounds like your flight might end right before that 3 hour period. And certainly get that. But eventually we'll get to the point where we could get in touch with solid state batteries. And
Yeah.
once solid state batteries come into play, that's going to be a complete game changer.
Oh yeah. It's like auto super resolution just dropped a couple days ago for the Ally X, and that there it does increase your battery life and it lets you run at lower resolutions and gives
Hmm.
you actually pretty dang it's noticeable. Like I had it hooked up to this Asus monitor and my gosh, man, going from like 720p to 1440p, I was quite shocked that the overall image quality really does hold up. And that is driver level upscaling, machine learning upscaling that's running off the NPUs. I remember back when people were telling me, "Oh no, Frog, you don't know what you're talking about. They're never going to upscale off the NPU." And here we are. We're upscaling off the NPU. These I think that we are at a crossing point in terms of I call it software subsidized hardware now.
Hmm.
That's my new name for it is software subsidized hardware. You know, you look at hardware like the PlayStation 5 Pro, how PSSR2 absolutely solves the 4K issue for consoles. You look at auto super resolution now on handheld devices that is going to essentially allow you to get a 30% gain in overall performance off of just using an upscaler that pretty much delivers same image quality versus this need that we've had ever since Moore's law is pretty important in the PC space. It always has been. It always it but it's getting to a point where our hardware gains are not as they're not as good as they used to be. Would you agree with that, Chris? Like
I'd
we're
say, yeah, I'd say like I think some people are looking for that immediate jump, like a very noticeable jump, like an impressive gain from say like the 30 series going over to the 50 series, or
yeah,
if you got the 6000 series GPU and you go to a 9070 XT, you expect this large dramatic change. But I do agree that it's become a bit more software based and kind of falls in line when it comes to the whole super sampling side of things. And also when it
yeah,
comes to frame generation, those two really come into play. Now, what I think is going to, but I do believe that there are a couple things that could happen in the future because of it. Of course, you probably heard rumors of the upcoming Project Helios or Helix, either
Helix,
one of
yeah,
those, Helix. So
yeah,
Project Helix, about how it's going to pretty much have a embedded APU, or
mm-hmm.
so to say, embedded
NPUs,
SoC. Yeah,
yeah,
the SoC. So that way, for it, it can actually, instead of like using a large dedicated graphics card as you usually see, like when you install on a PC, it's just going to be based off of that chip. And don't be surprised if it's actually even smaller because of it.
yeah,
And I believe that is the way it's going to go in that side, especially when it comes to the whole software optimization. I don't think graphics are going to look phenomenally better
no,
because of it. And I think they're trying to actually reduce the hardware to that. So I think the big part of it, unless they really truly focus on things like, say, rasterization, or they focus on things like Boost or something like True 4K,
yeah.
I don't think we're like truly facing true hardware evolution until then.
I don't even think I really I'm at the point right now where clearly something like an RTX 5090 being like the most potent, powerful PC you can get right now.
Hmm.
You look at the advancements. I mean, we saw DLSS 5 and we saw what that can do. Obviously, adding in
Hmm.
generative AI, bringing a more like cohesive image quality that some people love, some people hate. It is what it is. I personally want to see it on my own screen. But you start
Hmm.
mixing in generative AI. You start getting better upscaling. Obviously, frame generation is it's not perfect, but if you're on a controller, it like literally feeling like the difference between fluid motion and being able to actually
Hmm.
use that versus like keyboard and mouse. I really do think that obviously those features, frame generation and upscaling, are going to be significantly more important for consoles, but it also gets to a point where it negates something like the Xbox Helix and negates the need for say your 60 class GPUs because it will essentially take over that entry level experience. And not only will it take over that where the entry level experience is usually like 1080p 1440p, Xbox Helix is going to give you that 4K experience with fluid frames and give you pretty decent pretty decent image quality with being able to also do like ray tracing techniques and possibly even path tracing. You look at PlayStation 5 Pro being able to do 30 FPS path tracing on F125. That there's kind of a I look at PS5 Pro as kind of a prelude into what we're going to get with next generation consoles. And with next generation consoles, especially Helix being able to do like PC gaming as well, I think we're in for an interesting. I see the things changing. You were talking about 395, and I tested 385, and I was like, holy, I was blown away. Like the frame, that frame. What was it? Frame?
Your frame generation,
No, not frame
or
generation. Framework. Is it framework desktop? Framework PC?
the
The
frame. Oh yeah, you're
yeah.
talking about the laptop, the
No,
frame desk,
I had the I had the
uh,
actual PC one, the mini PC.
the mini PC, the because they have the frameworks. They have a couple different
Framework
variants.
desktop. I think it
Yeah,
was
yeah, the
Framework
desktop.
desktop. AMD sent that out
Okay,
to me as a loaner machine. Let me play with it for a couple of weeks, and I was
right.
quite surprised at the gaming prowess that APU had, and I was like actually quite blown away with just how good that actually worked. And so you see something like what Helix 395 versus, or not Helix, but Strix Halo 395 versus
Hmm.
what Xbox is going to be. They've still got, I mean, do you think it's possible to do 9070 XT power in that APU
I think
if they shrink down to like 2 3 nanometer?
I think it's possible in a certain sense, and I think a lot actually has to do with much more of the software base. And if you really think about it, like compared to Windows, as you know, there's so many things that actually runs in Windows when you're gaming on PC.
Yeah.
There's a lot of background services that could pretty much take up quite a decent amount. You just open up your task manager and you can actually take a look at how much RAM is being used
Yeah.
in comparison of something like a much lighter OS like Linux, where it's only going to use at the maximum maybe 2 to 3 gigabytes.
Yeah.
To Windows, you have a 32 gigabyte uh,
Buffer.
RAM kit.
Yeah.
That's yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
And it's taking half of it just to run Windows. You're like, oh my God, man. Like I do
exactly.
notice that. I mean, like think about it though, because framework desktop, that's using
Hmm.
LPDDR. Okay.
Right,
Helix is going to run GDDR.
right.
Like how big of a difference does that actually make bandwidth wise? Like if you ran Strix Halo with
Uh-huh.
GDDR, would it not be significantly more powerful graphics wise than what it currently is running on LPDDR? Because LPDDR uses less power, does it not? It's
Uh,
portable.
Yes, it's yeah. So LP, ironically, LP will stand for low powered
Yeah, exactly.
DDR. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it will definitely certainly use less power compared to something like something that most GPUs use, which are known as like either G6 or G7,
yeah,
and they could actually take quite a bit of power to do so. Now, if they're able to power it up into like a more of a dedicated console, so such as Project Helix, I think we could see like a certain detrimental shift. And that actually brings me into the topic of if you have heard of the whole Windows K2, which they are calling this project, and and this whole Project K2 that they want to focus on is pretty much a competitor like to Steam OS.
Yeah.
And the way Steam OS works is works just like Linux. It's just more with a more flashy interface, like when it comes
Hmm.
to using the actual Steam UI. And the way that Windows K2 would work is it would pretty much max out your TDP in your processor when
Hmm.
you are using it, so that way it's able to give you those boosted speeds when you whether you're gaming and much more or less background services. So I think that's kind of a peak of what to expect when we see Project Helix is much more
Yeah.
a refined version of Windows to where it's much more lighter and hopefully it's just as good as Steam OS because it's something that many of us, I mean, like, and as I mentioned a bit earlier, I've been into PCs since I was like 10, 11 years old. I've been
Yeah.
waiting since then. So it's like,
Yeah, we're
yeah,
finally we're finally us console guys because I was a console guy. We're finally getting that one system to rule them all. You know what I mean? And
mhm.
I mean, like obviously PlayStation 5 getting Xbox games and stuff. It's yeah. So are we talking about K2 as in the new Windows or like the Xbox app thing, or is it a more invasive one, like more of like a full on system thing? Because right now, I think we have the ability right now to do the new
Mhm.
Windows app or whatever. Ancient
Right.
Gameplays tested that and was showing that there is some gain, but mostly on the Nvidia side. Nvidia GPUs are
Mhm.
seeming to gain some more performance out of that, which is cool. But I kind of look at Nvidia as kind of in their own little world, doing their own little thing. Like it's when and they charge that money. I think of AMD as more along the lines of like a supercharged, console experience. And that's
Right.
fine, as long as you know exactly what you're buying when you go into it. I think that kind of clears up a lot of confusion where Nvidia is pushing things forward, and getting themselves in trouble with the gaming community with DLSS 5. AMD is, kind of just I feel like AMD's main graphics customers are clearly PlayStation and Xbox. So most of the stuff that they develop and design is curated toward that experience, but they obviously bring them features over to their own dedicated GPUs, their discrete GPUs, and in my experience, it's just always felt like a more robust console experience with AMD, and that's kind of what draws me to that a lot more. Nvidia is kind of you know it's really really good. Like I do like path tracing and stuff like that. Like I like the Nvidia experience, but I feel more at home with like that AMD experience. Like I just feel like, oh yeah, this is home. This is comfort food. You know what I mean? But with Nvidia,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it is nice, but it's not like the end all be all for me. Just not.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel with the whole AMD side of things, I usually recommend it as definitely one of the better ones to get, especially for those who focus on gaming. And the reason being is because you cannot beat the price and to performance
Yeah.
ratio on that compared to something like a RTX series card. And the reason being is like you still could easily pay over $1,000 for a RTX 5070 Ti compared to something
Yeah.
like a RX 9070 XT, which you could purchase as low as like under $700.
Oh yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
definitely a much better value in that sense. And they even include a game. Of course, NVIDIA includes their games as well when it
Yeah.
comes packaged.
I
Of course,
think
that's like,
uh,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I definitely think this generation alone with the 5070 Ti and the 9070 XT, I think you're good either way. Honestly, that's my honest
Hmm.
opinion. Is you're good either way. Obviously, Nvidia is going to have a more mature, set for features and stuff like DLSS, and clearly developers support DLSS significantly more than they do AMD. I mean, AMD, we got two games that use ray regeneration. Um,
Hmm.
is that what they call it? Ray regeneration, or is it
Yeah, that
yeah,
is
ray
correct. Yeah,
regeneration?
right,
So
regeneration.
it's like we've got two games that are using that, and it's like
Hmm.
getting these developers to actually support that. I kind of feel like it's a really good thing that PlayStation and AMD are working together because you've seen the improvement of FSR 4.1
Right.
just coming out at right before right after PSSR two, and it's like, oh gosh, dude, you have to zoom in to see a difference now. At least I do. I mean, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I, when I'm playing normally, I don't notice a massive difference in image quality. Like Nvidia looks good with path tracing, but they're not so far ahead anymore that like I. I don't think it's fair that people write AMD off as much as they do because there's not that big of a difference. It really is pretty damn close if you ask me.
Yeah, I'd say like when it comes to the whole gaming aspect, I usually recommend NVIDIA cards for most people who are using it for other tasks besides just
Yeah.
gaming. And the reason being is because that's like more, there's a lot more software out there that's tuned for NVIDIA because of the CUDA cores.
Yeah.
That's like DaVinci, and you got certain Adobe experiences, and even with Intel. And it's all about
Yeah.
what you're using the hardware for. Now, when it comes to the whole gaming side, I'd say NVIDIA has one thing that's really good and an advantage, and once again, it's the CUDA cores. And thanks to
Yeah.
their CUDA cores, that does help with their whole path tracing side. So if you're looking for the top, most uppermost quality graphics, and you want to really truly max it out, of course you can go with NVIDIA. Now, if you go
Yeah.
with AMD, it's really they're really good. They're in fact catching up when it comes to their whole ray tracing side. I was certainly hoping, and I know many of us were hoping that AMD comes out with like a high end version of their card.
Yeah.
And if they came out with this high end version, they have something that can truly compete. I think
Yeah.
the one biggest beef that most people do certainly have when it comes to AMD is that people are not happy who own, say, the 7000 series or
Yeah.
6000 series. They're unable to experience FSR4 or be able to be part of Project Redstone,
Yeah.
and that's they feel like that they're being forgotten behind, and certainly hopes that AMD can certainly bring them into the loop and somehow make it possible for them to be part of the FSR4 experience.
Yeah. Absolutely. I really do kind of feel like PlayStation has a um and I really do kind of feel like PlayStation has kind of locked that down from those GPUs because it's the Int 8 version. We
Hmm.
have you tried OptiScaler client yet? It pretty much just
I
does
have
everything
not.
for you. It does everything for you. It's like literally the click of a button, and you can inject. Because I'm using my 7900 XTX in this build right now. You can
Oh,
literally just
nice.
inject like FSR int 8 into those games. It's pretty
Oh,
easy,
that's pretty cool.
but I mean, I look at the visual quality on that, and it's like the performance loss that you lose versus like something like FSR three. Um, I mean, I
Hmm.
kind of get it, but I mean, obviously, I talked to AMD while I was at CES, and they basically
Right.
told me, look, man, it's exclusive to FSR four, and I mean, they pretty much told me the same thing they told everybody else, but it's like we can
Hmm.
see Int eight working, and it's like they're so cagey about it, almost as if they are in a, you know, like not an is it like an NDA or something? Like they have an NDA
Yeah.
with like PlayStation that they can't say anything about it.
Yeah, I think that's like part of the reason there's it's on the wraps. It's best, yeah, like certain things they have is on the wraps.
Like it has to be because have you?
Yeah.
I mean, have you known AMD to literally be like this cagey about something? I mean, they've almost pretty much always been there. Like, yeah, do we support our products and we do our
Yeah.
best to try to bring things forward and stuff like that. It just obviously they got the name Fine Wine for a reason, and it's like it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then when you got people out there saying, "Oh yeah, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming," and it's like AMD never ever once. Not one time did I ever. I went back and watched a lot of stuff. They never said FSR4 was coming to RDNA
Right.
3 or 2 or 3. They never said that. They never implied that. They never once said or marketed that. And if you go back, they never even marketed RDNA 2 or 3 as going to be having ML upscaling ever. They
Hmm.
never did that. The work that Mark Cerny and PlayStation has done with RDNA 2 up to, RDNA X or whatever they call it, was they found a way to reconfigure the shaders and everything else on there to be able to get up to what did they say it was 300 tops or 100, yeah 300
Yeah,
tops
yeah, 300
out of
tops.
out of the PlayStation Silicon to be able to
Right,
do int 8 or int 8 math. And obviously Mark Cerny was pretty smart about doing that FP16 with rapid pack math with PS4 Pro to be able to
right.
like and it looked good with their developers and stuff. So I do kind of feel like AMD's hands are kind of tied. That's just my read on it. It's like I don't have to sit here and be mad or upset. I got a real job. I can go to work and make my own money. I don't have to sit here and depend on people's rage and hate and anger and their emotions to try to make money on YouTube. So it's just like I can look at things and be like, all right, I talked to a lot of guys at AMD at CES, and they didn't seem like they were like they seemed like they were pretty much like, yeah, dude, they're gamers too and stuff, and it's
Hmm.
I just don't see them as being like nefarious trying to hurt their their things. Obviously you can see it's killing them not being able to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, dude,
Oh yeah,
they're not
absolutely.
dumb. I mean, we can literally see that, like, holy shit, if AMD brought in 8 to RDNA 2 and 3, they would be heroes. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure if we can, come to that freaking that 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 mindset, I'm pretty sure they do too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because
Oh yeah,
clearly
yeah.
they can see it's possible. We know it's possible. They leaked the freaking, yeah. Obviously, it's
Oh
tearing
yeah,
them up,
yeah.
man. And like, so I try to give them a lot of credit, for that, because I know if they could, they would. There's
Oh
something,
yeah.
something financial is keeping them away, and Sony is one of their bigger customers when it comes to graphics. And as well as I know Sony, I wouldn't put it past them doing something like that, locking them out of, for a year or 2 years or something. I wouldn't put it past them. But once it does come, it is going to come and it is going to be good. And I think that people will be pretty happy. But I get it, dude. It is mind share, market share is taking a
Hmm.
massive beating right now for
Oh
AMD, and
yeah.
that sucks. But like, I wanted to start talking about like the devaluing things. So
Sure.
obviously, I paid $1,000 for my Xbox Ally X. Um,
Right.
the utility that I've gotten out of that, like if you put this on a monitor, you use a dock, it pretty much functions as a full on PC. Full on. I
Right.
mean, like, in terms of like laptop power versus that, where would you kind of put that? Because laptops are. I mean, they sell from. I remember the first one I bought for the channel was about $1,000, and that was a 3050 Ti. Um,
Right.
where would you put, like, say you bring it home, you know, obviously a handheld has just as much utility as like a PC does, like a laptop PC. And then
Right.
obviously you get a dock, you hook it up to your monitors and all of that stuff. Shouldn't we kind of look at these as having more utility than a laptop, technically?
Like having more, okay, so like using it like kind of like a reference point, so
Yeah,
to say, to like there is possibilities of using it more for than what it is, like what it's used for, than just the actual game console. And in ways like believe it or not, some people even use it in ways of like even editing videos on something
yeah,
like a on a on a Asus ROG Xbox Ally X. It certainly has the capabilities, has the power. If you look at it scale wise, if you want to compare it to something like a, just say a console, you look at it and you put it next to like a PS4, it actually has more power than a
hmm,
PS4, and the PS4 was released back in 2013, I believe it was.
yeah,
So, and that just gives you an idea of like how fast we are moving in technology. Now, when it comes to laptop power, and this is the tricky part of things. Again, it all falls back to kind of like the whole Moore's law. We can never reach a certain amount of power that we would like to in a handheld or a laptop unless it
yeah,
is plugged in. And it's the unfortunate truth, because even though like there's a lot of a perfect example is like if you look at a laptop that has like a 4070 to say, compared to a new 5080 laptop, believe it or not, it's not going to be that phenomenal of a difference in power. They will actually still run on the same type of wattage as if it was just but of course you're going to pay much cheaper for a 4070 laptop compared to a 5080 laptop. So there's no really true power gain in that, as portability does have its limits in power. Now, until we get to the point, until they figure out how they can truly optimize it to the point hardware wise, where it can be a much more economical, which is something I look forward to what Intel is doing, especially with Panther Lake, if they could
Yeah.
manage to pull this trigger. And even Intel is working with Nvidia and now Apple as well,
Yeah.
where they're working on much more improvements when it comes to the power space. And I
Yeah.
think this will actually be the development for both Intel and AMD once it comes to something like this.
I'm I'm pretty I'm pretty excited about what Intel's doing, especially with Nvidia. Like that does sound pretty cool. You know, I didn't make it to any of the Intel stuff while I was there, and I kind of regret not being able to do that. But clearly, 2027 CES is going to be a lot
Oh
more.
yeah,
Like hopefully, there's some like real hardware. This was
oh
kind of like
yeah, for
going and
sure.
sitting through all the AI stuff. I saw some pretty cool AI products, and like when we look at the value, of the hardware we have now, and we look at what the new software features can do, would you agree that we get more? If like say there's no noise, like people aren't like, oh, frame gen sucks and all that shit,
Right.
would you not say that a 5090 using the full feature set is significantly more powerful than what? Because we saw him come out, oh, the 5070 power 4090 whatever, and everybody just went to town. Would you not say, well, I mean, would you not agree that, like, technically with the features, a 5070 really does deliver that 4090 experience and then some in some cases, if the games have MFG?
That,
Say you're on a controller,
yeah,
and
yeah,
obviously, you're on a controller, shit's runs
right,
smooth, it's good. I mean, I'm not even joking. I bought a 5070 Ti. I got a 4090, and I was like, damn, dude, the 5070 Ti is better. You know what I mean? Like, I was like,
right,
obviously, obviously, if you look at it from a pure rasterized performance, like everybody does currently,
right.
there's no question. The 4090 is better. The 5090 is, the top dog. But with the features, like, holy crap, like there's never been, you look at 4090 to 5090, play something like Assassin's Creed. 4090, I was
Hmm.
getting about what, 45 frames a second. 5090, I'm getting 55 to 60 frames a second. That's like 15 frames. Turn on MFG 4X and you're like 300 frames, 4K. It looks incredible, smooth as shit. It's like that software is a massive performance gain, whether you like it or not. It really does. In my opinion, it delivers the illusion that you're getting
Hmm.
more performance, you're getting visual quality. And so how do these companies, I mean, because a lot of people, yourself included, pretty much agree that, like, prices are ridiculous compared to what they historically are, right? Like,
Absolutely.
prices are absolute. I mean, even I can see that they're historically, we've never seen a PlayStation 5 go up in price. We've never seen consoles go up in price during a generation. But we've
Right,
also never seen a feature like PSSR 2 come to a PlayStation 5 right before they up the price, and
right.
completely deliver a 4K experience. You know, how does AMD and Nvidia price these software features accordingly? Because we've seen the trillions of dollars that have been pumped into AI. Okay, they got to start making their money back somehow.
Right,
Obviously, the feature set, to the average, I would say the average gamer, 90% of gamers are going to flip the shit on and play it anyways and be like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. We've all seen them, the people that build their PC, they turn on lossless scaling for freak's sakes and they're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like, we know those people exist. Okay.
right.
How does AMD and NVIDIA accurately price this technology to where it seems fair for gamers? Because obviously gamers are never going to compete with the AI bros. They're never going to be,
Right.
never going to be competitive. How does AMD and Nvidia, because clearly they don't need as much hardware to deliver the same experience. 5070 technically with AI can deliver a 4090 experience minus the VRAM. Clearly, I mean, it can it's good enough to give you that feeling of that experience. Like
Illusion. Right.
that
Um,
illusion is there. It's there.
I
So I know it's pretty deep, but going forward, clearly we don't need
right.
as much hardware. I mean, a 9060 XT 8 GB can give me 4K experience if I use the features. Clearly, don't need as much hardware. A lot of that's going to be backfilled with software going forward. Like we can already see the shift; it's already coming. Like it's like PlayStation solved the 4K issue. PS6 is going to be phenomenal, and they don't need as much power. Xbox Helix is going to be incredible. How do they charge us a fair price because they know they can make more money off of each chip for the AI data centers? How do we still remain relevant going forward if we as a community of gamers continue to devalue the hardware that's already there? Because
Mhm.
clearly we don't need better hardware. The features are going to be able to do that. The new algorithms and everything are going to make it possible. How do they price that in? And how do we, as reviewers or content creators or just consumers, how do we deal with this change? In my opinion, it's like going from horses to wheels. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like we've seen that like wheels came out and they were, drawn by carts, but now we see what wheels can do on freaking
Right.
F1 cars. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll let you answer.
Oh, no, 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 it's okay. I know it's going to be quite probably a lengthy answer when I answer this since it was a lot of information. But I can certainly say that I think the biggest gripe that a lot of us do have, like especially a lot of gamers that do experience frame generation, and I know comparing the RTX 5070 over to the RTX 4090, of course, you got two different pieces of hardware. Got one on Ada Lovelace and one on Blackwell. The biggest difference between the two, I gotta say, is that it has a transformer model on the 5070, so that allows it for more of the AI generation, like the whole frame regen type of deal when it comes to it. 4090 does allow it because it does is like technically the first generation and actually the only one out of the whole 40 series line that actually has the transformer model in it. But isn't able to replicate as well compared to the 50 series. I can say that for sure. I think the biggest problem is like when it comes to the whole frame generation side is more or so when it comes to the input lag. And the biggest thing that you certainly notice, and I've noticed it in multiple devices, not just in PCs, but also in the Lenovo Legion Go 2, like when you could play Battlefield 6, you could play at 144 frames and it feels perfect. It feels just amazing. But then when you realize that when you're actually playing the game, that in a way you can certainly still feel
The
that
input
latency.
latency, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll notice like as soon as you turn to somebody that you think that you see before they do, then the next thing you know you're
You're
shot dead.
cooked.
So, yeah, exactly.
You're
You're pretty much
cooked.
cooked. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think we because again we're in the first generation,
Yeah.
so this is going to happen. We're going to
Hmm.
experience these software flaws. Now, when it comes to the pricing aspect, of course, we're getting to the point where it's you obviously where Nvidia especially wants ahead with the whole
Mm,
regeneration, where they're saying that they have neural rendering, which
yeah.
is something that they really push on the LSS5.
Hmm.
But as it's been debunked, that it doesn't truly have neural rendering, but that is exactly the direction that that Nvidia wants to head. And same thing
Yeah.
with AMD. I'm sure that they want to head in that direction
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much more than likely as well. So when it comes in terms of hardware, they're going to require, of course, a different set of hardware. They won't require just raw power, which has been always king when it comes to, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to graphics. Now it's getting to the point where they realize that they don't have to use so much raw power. Instead, they could just base it off of using some of the chipsets based onto the MPUs, where they don't have to require as much, and just based on transformers to where they can be able to have frame generation to make it seem like a true, realistic, and great graphics with fluid gameplay.
Yeah.
So I feel that pricing it out, more than likely, this is how I honestly see it, is that they'll end up using less hardware, but they'll end up using better software.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I have a feeling that they'll end up pricing it the same.
Yeah.
That's where I see it.
I mean, theoretically, the software getting better and cheaper to run and easier could potentially bring costs back down in the future. But I think we're at this like point where like there's so much money. They've hyped AI up so much, and there's so much
Right.
money in there that they like have to start making money with it. So I do
Mhm.
feel like prices are going to remain a little bit higher for a little while, but they are going to come down. I mean, like we legit have streaming services that are good enough to give you a gaming experience, but at the same time, like hardware, I feel like there's enough option. I feel like there's enough option out there. Um, I do feel like as a gamer myself, like look, we are paying it forward every time we buy a 5090 or we buy, something expensive, we are paying it forward. But if we don't keep our our share, our lion's share of like, hey dude, we're there, we're buying this stuff, like we want it just as much as the AI bros. Um I kind of feel like they'll I kind of feel like we're at a point where they'll stop making games. They'll stop making hardware for enthusiasts like us, and they will
Right.
target the masses. You know, like why wouldn't they? The masses will buy whatever they sell. I mean, dude, I played console for how many years? Just keep buying it, and I was 20 frames per second. I was low settings on like 360s and early PlayStation 3 and stuff. And now here we
Right.
are. It's like, whoa, once you see what you really get, like, you're like, oh my gosh, dude, like this is worth it. I don't know, man. I just feel like I feel like there's this like, because obviously it's easy for a content creator to sit and, appeal to the people that just, you know, don't want to spend that money. I remember when I came to
Right.
PC from console, I was like $1,700 for a PC. You got to be out of your damn mind. It better be three times better. Not knowing, that like, okay, there's definitely levels to PC gaming, and the more you spend, you know, there's a certain point that you spend to, and then past that's diminishing returns, and under that is almost there. You know what I mean? Like you have to
Right.
I recommend to my community come in at a 70 class. If you're coming from console, come in at a 70 class. That's going to give you above and beyond what a console's going to do, and probably well into the next generation. Whereas the 60 class is going to be that console experience, but in a PC form, and it's going to cost more money. But that's just kind of where I'm at with it. I don't think that we need to devalue things. I think that if a company comes out with a MSI claw, and it's how much is that new claw? $1,000 or is it more?
Yeah. Like about 1,000. Yeah, about $1,000.
So like with me, if I was to get one of those, I'd want to try to see what all the utility is. Like what can I do with this
Mhm.
thing? How does it compare to other products? How does it compare to other products? But what utility does it offer? Can I take it with me? Can I, throw it on a screen? Can I can literally throw this on my dock and then hook up my sim racing equipment to it and play sim racing games from this. Okay, like $1,000 is that's not too much for something with that type of utility. I could take
Oh
that
yeah.
to my friend's house, and if I still have like the Camus C5, you could take that whole thing with you and hook it all up and sit there and play on a big screen and stuff like that. I feel like there's enough utility in some of this stuff. I mean, like even this thing, man, this like PS Portal. I was like 250
Oh yeah.
bucks. I was like, it's a controller. Like you can use it just like a controller with a big screen. I don't know. I look at all these things that I buy. I keep buying all this stuff. I don't. Clearly, I have more than I need, but the utility that
No.
we get out of some of this stuff is
Mhm.
cool, and I just kind of feel like the stuff is going to last longer than like your older hardware. Like obviously some of that older hardware just stops working. And I'm not saying that this stuff's not going to go the way of the dinosaur like your older hardware, but I feel like you're
Mhm.
getting more bang for your buck because of these features than you were ever getting before. I mean, would you agree with that? Like, I mean,
Oh, 100% agreed. I
I
mean,
mean,
you'll take a look at the Asus, the original Asus ROG Ally, and that released nearly 3 years ago, but it's
mhm.
still very capable of playing today's games. So it's before it used to be, as
I
you
have one of
know,
those too.
especially yeah,
Yeah.
especially when it comes from like coming from laptops. I'm pretty sure that many and mostly everybody can remember that if you buy a laptop, 2 years max. That's
Yeah.
all you can get out of it, and that was it.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
get ready to buy a new one. But now laptops are getting to the point where they can actually last quite a bit of a long time. You see laptops that are easily 7 to 10 years old now.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's the hardware is certainly lasting a lot better. There has been improvement in the technology. It's not wearing down as quick, and I think as we get a bit more refined in that sense, especially when it comes to battery life, I think that's going to be certainly key to
Yeah.
extending hardware life.
Oh yeah. I'm well, thermals and stuff too. Obviously, like there's new tech for thermals that are coming out. That's making things run a little bit better and stuff too.
Right.
Obviously, shrinking the dies, going down, smaller and stuff, using less power. I kind of feel like our hardware now is pretty good. And you look at something like PlayStation 5 Pro, okay? Um,
Hmm.
they're still making PS4 games for freak's sake.
Right.
PlayStation 6, obviously PlayStation 5 Pro will still be a targeted platform going forward. So I mean, where your consoles, your console generation used to be 7 years, now it's 14 years, even possibly even beyond that. And obviously, digital games have made it so like you're buying into an ecosystem, kind of like Steam on your Xbox or your PlayStation. So in my honest opinion, it's like, yeah, $900 for a PS5 Pro, but you could potentially still be playing this well into the next generation and still have a feature set, machine learning that will help still give you an experience worth playing on that going forward. Now, I mean, there's a lot of other utility for PC and stuff clearly above and beyond a console, and that's why it does command that higher price over a console, which is pretty much a locked ecosystem. But you look at like PC, obviously you can do editing, you could run a business from it. I mean, there's so much you can do on a PC.
Right.
Like you could legit build programs, like everything. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot of utility, and even your entry level PCs now are still capable of doing things. I mean, even just a 9060 XT with a 16 gigabyte VRAM, you could run large language models right there on your system at home and be able
Right.
to utilize that as a tool to like create things. I just think that we as gamers, obviously gamers, we're pretty entitled. I mean, obviously, we think that like, oh, everything should be cheaper, and it's like, how much cheaper does it need to be? Like, we have so much access to so much stuff. It's like new products come out. If you want it, if you're like the kind of person that's like addicted to FOMO, buy it, enjoy it, get it as soon as you can. The faster you buy it, the quicker it pays itself off. If you don't like the price of something, like, all right, I get it, bro, move on. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. I spent a lot of money last year and stuff, and I was just like, gosh damn, every time I buy something, the firing squad of YouTubers comes out and just tries to destroy everything. And I don't know, man, it gets frustrating because I enjoy all the stuff I bought and I don't feel like I've gotten ripped off yet. Ever since I came to my understanding of what Nvidia is and what Nvidia means to the planet, I don't I don't look at it as I don't look at like I'm getting ripped off when I buy Nvidia. I look like I'm kind of paying shit forward, over and
Right.
above. I mean, I'm definitely paying a premium for a lot of products that I'm probably not going to use because of how incredible Nvidia is and everything you can do with Nvidia. I don't feel like I'm
Hmm.
getting ripped off. I just feel like I feel like I'm paying for features that I'll probably never use. And so I do still kind of point people toward AMD, especially gamers. Like, look, if you're a gamer, you don't need to pay that much to enjoy gaming. Like, you don't. You
Right.
can have some
A
fun.
lot
You
of
can save.
Absolutely, because you have so many gamers out there that will certainly over they will believe that the most expensive means the best, but that's not always the case.
No.
That's like trying to build a PC with a like a Threadripper 9970X, which is
Yeah.
insane. Like you don't need all that power just to play on a gaming PC. In fact, it actually will perform worse than
Hmm.
a 7600 X3D. And a lot of people wonder why. Why does it perform worse? Because a lot of games don't require so many multi cores, and
Hmm.
they just require a single process. So I think in the gaming aspect, most people has to focus on what are the needs, what does the game actually need to run, what are the
Yeah.
actual system requirements. That is what is necessary to look for. And I do believe, let me throw this in there because I know I'm sure you're one of the people waiting for this too. Is GTA 6 is the perfect
Yeah.
example, right?
Oh
Everyone's
gosh.
waiting for GTA 6. So it's like everyone's probably holding their PS5s, their Xboxes, even if they have a PC for GTA 6.
Yeah.
And I think that will set a precedence because the reason being is because GTA 6 is supposed to be truly revolutionary. They spent,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the past, most recent articles where they spent well over $2 trillion because
Mhm.
the fact that it's been over the past two, not
10,
2 trillion,
10
2
years,
billion.
2
I mean,
billion, 2 billion.
yeah, 2 billion. So it was over the
Gosh.
past since 20, I think 20 it was, and they're
Yep.
still billing on to take two.
Yeah.
So you're consistently building this game and this engine that looks like quite beautiful. That
Yeah.
you're really curious on how well optimized it is. And if anybody can optimize a game, it's going to be Rockstar. It's going to be
Yeah.
Take Two. And if they're able to run this game on something like a say a 6600 XT, what
Mhm.
will that tell you about every other game developer that comes out with games that
Mhm.
they haven't been optimizing the hardware properly, and that's a large problem, especially on today's date. Like when it comes to requiring hardware when it comes to games.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Hmm.
it is crazy. I mean, like I've looked at some of these games, like something like Pragmata, playing that on the RX 580. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
RX 580 using FSR and frame generation, and it's like that card still has value. That is Xbox One X hardware. Basically, the
right.
same GCN hardware. It's 6 teraflops or whatever, and you look at the way that thing still performs on newer games like Pragmata today, and you're like, holy crap, this is actually really, really good. And you know, as gamers, we get ourselves into these like stupid ass freaking moments where we say, oh man, I can't do that. I can't do that. Like we keep locking ourselves in these little boxes, and basically, like keeping ourselves confined and like, oh man, I can't play on 1080p. And it's like, bro, 1080p is high definition. Like it still looks pretty damn good. And the level of
Right,
fluidity you get out of some of the hardware these days, it's like, what are you talking about, man? Like 1080p is not ugly. It's not horrible. It's not once the consoles came out and then we started getting like the 4K and stuff, and then we had like upscaling and like the checkerboard rendering and like dynamic resolution and all of this crap that was coming out to try to give you this approximation, that really damaged 1080p's reputation, because like when
hmm,
you try to upscale a 1080p image on a 4K display, if you're sending it, so if you had an Xbox One X and you send it a 4K image, it's gonna, some games are gonna look good, but if it's a 1080p game and you're sending it to it at 4K, it destroys the image quality. But if you put
right,
your Xbox at 1080p mode to play your 1080p games, let your TV, your display upscale it, it looks significantly better. Like you don't skip a beat. Like you're not losing like a whole lot of image quality.
right.
And so 1080p took a really bad rap, during that crossover generation where like the consoles really, really affected that. Whereas like PC never had that problem. PC 1080p on PC with ultra settings looks absolutely fabulous, and everybody could see that. But 4K really, or 1080p took a bad rap over that, misstep from like the console manufacturers. And so I literally look at how we have like we have so many options, and we have such good value. Gaming is still cheaper than it's ever been. I mean, I'm
Right.
old enough to remember 6 megabyte hard drives costing like $2,000, dude. Like PC was super expensive back in the days, and now it's like I don't know, man. I get that like some of the stuff is expensive, but I mean,
It
what
was
do you?
really, yeah, I remember, like, even in, I know this is going way back, but even, like, in 95, 96, back in you probably remember this, like, when Sony actually came out with their PCs, and
Oh yeah, the Vivos, the Vivo
yeah,
ones. Yeah, the Vivos,
yeah, those,
Sony
Vios,
Vio.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, how they had, like, you had the monitor with the CRT monitor with a
Mm-hmm.
speaker with and it also had, it came with the keyboard, the mouse, the full out tower with the floppy disk and everything, and that was a $3,000 system in
Oh yeah,
'95.
yeah, dude.
So,
It was
it
wild.
was expensive. It was really expensive back then.
And
So,
now we're
I'm
getting yeah. Now we're
mhm,
getting like P, PS5s that are like significantly stronger than anything we had back there for like yeah pennies on a dollar. It's
right,
crazy.
exactly. Even like 64, like having a 64 megabyte, it was like, what was it? A 64 gigabyte hard drive was like unheard of at the time,
Oh yeah,
even.
dude. It was
S-
so wild, man.
mhm.
So another thing, because you do a lot of motherboards and stuff like that, right? You do a lot of
Right.
you cover a lot of like internal components.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so I've been told recently, that I am very wasteful with my money for going with an X870E, Strix Wi-Fi motherboard, and like
Mhm.
my Ryujin, cooler and stuff like that.
Right.
Why does the PC community devalue higher end motherboards and coolers and stuff like that? Like, why the hell do they devalue this stuff and prop up the 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 mass production stuff? Like,
Like the
explain that to me.
B850s.
Yeah, like
Like,
if you look at like the entry level motherboards, those things are like
mhm.
mass produced, and they probably have
Right.
the lowest quality control you could ever imagine. Whereas like your higher end boards, like your X870s, or like your crosshairs or stuff like that, or your
Right.
godlikes from MSI, like those have a
Right.
much higher quality assurance. Wouldn't you expect? Like, wouldn't you think?
There's so much that goes behind a motherboard that, like, yes, I can see why. I know why some gamers do, and the reason is because, to honestly put it, is to make themselves feel better. It's because they're
Yeah.
unable to get the product that they want. And there is truth that the fact that, like, when it comes to an X870 board, it is a bit higher quality because uh, there's so much that goes into it. They either, when it comes to their PCBs, it's usually now like they go up to 7, 8 layers of PCB,
Yeah.
so it's really thick, the boards. They even have a back plate on a lot of these boards now, to where you don't have to worry about it even like touching a table. You
Yeah.
also have improved VRMs when it comes to like a much like an X870, where you have 20 VRMs compared to something that only has 9. So
Yeah.
it's able to would take heat so much better because of it. I think the main reason why they attack it is because it has that higher price tag, and some people may not need all the features, and the X870E does features such as like having the extra USB-C ports where they can go up to
Yeah.
40 gigabits per second,
Yeah.
and some
This is
uh,
wild.
yeah, yeah. So even they have Ethernet ports where they have up to like 5 gigabits, and you have another port where it goes 1 gigabit, and they're all just these extra features that a lot of these X870 boards can take advantage of. See, the
Yeah.
good thing is, like, because you obviously create content as well, you take full advantage of that board for
Oh
that
yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Now, the other people that can take advantage of that type of motherboard is those that want to say they multitask and they also game on
Hmm.
something with like a large 4K LG C5 OLED
Yeah.
screen, and then it's going to require a bit more. It's going to require a bit more cooling, and it's going to have better heat dissipation on those boards.
Yeah.
So not everyone will take advantage of the X870 as they should, but the B850 people
or like anybody that has like say the B 860s or any of those type of boards, they're more of the entry level or the boards where you can take advantage of like 1080p gaming even.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. So I think it's not fair to point at someone saying that you don't need a board like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone has their different needs when it comes to PCs. So the main question I always ask everybody: what is your main goal, and what type of resolution are you gaming?
Well, exactly. I mean, if you're going out and you're spending $2,600 on a GPU,
Hmm.
don't don't you think it's worth upgrading some of your other components so that they not necessarily are the same price, but I mean at least match that level of, quality or whatever you're trying to run on it? I mean, to me it's like buying a $500 motherboard for a $2,600 GPU is kind of like, okay, like sheesh, I don't need a 5090. I sure you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
um I don't know. I mean, like, cuz when I first bought the oh no. Oh no. What happened to you? Hold on, guys. We're going to try to get him right back. Oh, he was back for a second. Let's see if he comes back. He dropped out. There he is. Oh no. Uno momento.
There we go.
Oh, there
Are
we
we
go. Now he's back. Now he's nope, he's gone. Oh no. I wonder. Oh wow. We're gonna try to get him back. Okay, hopefully
hopefully?
it holds. Hopefully it holds. Please
Yeah, it
hold,
seems
please
like
hold. Oh wow. Whoa.
oh, this is
Okay.
pretty funny.
What's happening? Do you think?
Okay, did it work?
Yeah,
Is it
you're.
holding now? I think it was probably trying to play catch up right now.
Oh.
It seems like with the latency on the internet.
Okay. Yeah.
There
So.
we go. I think we're good now.
All right. So I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We
Oh,
were
motherboards.
just
Yeah.
yeah, the motherboards. Yes.
So like buying like a high end system and then building, around that. Like you're not only building for like the utility of the hardware, you're also building for aesthetics too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Oh,
clearly your higher
absolutely.
end boards are going to look better, have different designs and stuff like that. So but there is a subclass of PC gamers that literally despise higher end hardware, and it's just I don't understand the PC gamer mind logic. It's I understand that there's cheaper parts and you don't necessarily need everything. Oh no. Oh no. We might actually have to cut this video a little bit shorter. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Oh no. I wonder if that's like my internet that's like causing this problem. It better not be. Speed test. I'm waiting for him to repopulate. Yeah, dude, I'm on Xfinity. So it's okay. So we're gonna try to get Chris back. It doesn't look like he's popping back up. So we're gonna go ahead and everything. All right. Okay, there he is.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Did you just have to like restart your internet or something?
I just had to I had to exit out completely and go back in for some reason.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, no. So, all right. Yeah, we were talking about the like different levels of like PC gamers and stuff just being kind of weird, and
Right.
like basically like shaming people for buying better hardware. It's just kind of crazy, man. Like
Hmm.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole thing. It's like you got so many competing people out there, trying to like create content that I feel like it just destabilizes like the PC platform even more. Like it's
Hmm.
really just devaluing the thing that we all love, that we all say we love, and I just find it kind of weird, man. Like, and I don't find a whole lot of people that agree with me, because everybody's like on the hustle, man, and it's like I get it, bro. Like it's kind of a hustle out there, but it is kind of ruining things that we like.
Oh yeah, I'd say like the best thing to do is like if anybody certainly goes through something like that is just really just earing out pretty much the noise that you hear around it because a lot of it is just uh, a lot of it is just they're just not happy because they were either not able to afford it or they were unable to get what they truly wanted. But when it comes to hardware, I feel that it is very important to actually just like what you mentioned a bit earlier is to kind of try to match the hardware per hardware. It's like trying to build a PC and you buy a cheap power supply, and when you buy a cheaper power supply, it's a very risky thing to do. You risk shorting out the power supply really quickly
Yeah,
as it's cheaper quality, and then you're going to spend more than you what you paid for the original power supply to
yeah,
replace it and you could have just
exactly.
bought the right piece. So I think that mindset is something that is to be ignored for sure.
Yeah. Cuz I mean I totally understand, like being financially restrained and like
Right.
just trying to get what you can get, but I mean if you're financially restrained to build around a high-end GPU like a 5090,
Hmm.
maybe you shouldn't buy a 5090. Maybe you should buy what you can afford and put that together as a cohesive unit, that's got, a decent motherboard, a decent power supply, decent, RAM hardware. Put together the best you can get around the whole system. It's but I mean, like when you see like I don't have a problem with pre-builds. I kind of I don't have a problem with them. But you look at a pre-built and there's like all these cheap parts in there. And everybody like the PC community is like, don't buy pre-builds. They use cheap parts. And then you've got like bros that are like, yeah, man, get the cheapest motherboard you can find for your 5090. And it's like, why not just buy a pre-built? Why not just get a pre-built, my friends? Like
Yeah.
there's just
Yeah.
so much conflicting information about PC out there that I think it does more damage, honestly, than it does for people to just be like, look, here's the X870E motherboard. This motherboard has this utility. You might not need that. And then there's this motherboard, but obviously, buying something a little bit more expensive, you're going to have a little bit better quality, quality assurance, stuff like that. Obviously, they don't make as much of the high end stuff because the low end stuff sells significantly more. So it's to me it's just like you're paying a little bit more money, but you're actually you know paying for hidden features that aren't even known to like the average consumer, because obviously higher end gear is going to have higher quality assurance than some of the
Right.
lower end stuff too. At least I think, and at least in my company, the stuff that we it's cost more, there's a lot higher due diligence on a lot of the stuff that we produce and put out. So I would think that it would be
Right.
the same with that higher end hardware. They're not just going to be like, oh yeah, dude, I mean, like the solder
Yeah.
quality and stuff.
It's not like just like pretty much like copy and paste. It's not like, oh, let's just throw the X870 tag on this, even
Yeah,
though it's the
exactly.
B5. So yeah, for the motherboards or any type of hardware, in fact, obviously they don't do that. Perfect example is like if you honestly think they do that to motherboards, then it's like, why don't you think that way when you look at say like a 9060 and the 9070, or vice versa, like a Nvidia 5070 Ti and a 5090, they could have just easily slapped the label in there. But
Yeah, for real.
that's obviously not the case there. When it comes to but just like what you mentioned about building a building a PC, like a lower budget PC that someone can afford for that has a 5090, it's just worth saving a little bit of extra money to make sure that it is in a comparable build.
Yeah,
Because reason being is because you want to take full advantage of the 5090, and when you get certain motherboards, it could be you could be restricting the power of the 5090
absolutely,
because of it.
absolutely.
Um,
And not
yeah,
only
especially.
that, like
Mhm.
you're building for longevity too. Like
Right.
you want your 5090 to last a long time, you know? I just
Mhm.
yeah, I honestly feel like, like PC, like when you build something like a 5090, that thing should last you 10 years.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
without a
mean,
doubt.
yeah, you want your motherboard to last and everything. Yeah, it's just crazy, Chris. I I just remember being at like CES and looking at all the stuff, and you hear all the people like, "Oh, it's trash and this and that," and it's so annoying, man. There's just so much of it out there. It's like this anti-society freaking or anti-corporation or whatever, and we got
Oh,
our
yeah.
we got our overlords, our betters that continuously go after these companies left and right, and it's like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, you'll
Huh.
hear a lot of it. A lot of it, it's like it's just gotta be pretty much tuned out. I'm sure you hear lots of like, this guy is just a big YouTuber, he gets everything free,
Yeah.
which isn't which isn't the case. I wish that was the case. I
Yeah. I
would
mean, like,
have way less bills if that was the case,
yeah, for
but
real. I mean, like, obviously, we hope we get to that point someday where we can, get products earlier to provide a, like a review of the products. But I mean, I look at, there's just so much of it, and like obviously you get to a point like our good buddy Gamers Nexus, and like I don't know
Mhm.
what happened. He just went anti-corporation now, and it's hard to watch his content now, man. And it's like, damn,
Uh
dude, Steve was such a freaking. He still does a little bit of good stuff, but it's like, gosh, dang, man, why do that, man?
I think the key is like when it comes to all of us, especially those who produce content, is just being pretty much like a real person. You're not just doing it to produce views. You're doing it to be honest and to be clear about the products that people are looking into. You want to be honest about the 5090 if it's worth somebody purchasing. You don't want to
Yeah,
just you just don't want to just brag about a 5090 being the best card that you can ever have, and it's
yeah,
way better than 4090. You want to tell people the facts, and I think that's all people look for. I think they look for honesty. They want to know if it's truly worth what the what the product is, and that it's just that we're not just like being sims for the industry practically. So
so that right there, Simps for the industry.
right.
Sims for the industry. Like I understand like the whole meaning of why that phrase exists, but like
Hmm.
you have to look at it from another point of view. Like most people, like if you got given a free 5090 and you got to
Hmm.
just experience that, don't you think maybe every like seriously, it is the best possible experience you can get on PC gaming. Like it just is. There's no question that is the best.
Right.
How is it that being excited about a product like that would equate to being a simp for the whatever they're called? What I don't know.
Industry.
Industry. Like
Yes.
I just don't get it because every single gamer on the planet,
Hmm.
given the opportunity to have a 5090, whether they have the disposable income to buy that or get given that, I'm
Right.
I'm pretty sure every single person on the planet would enjoy that experience.
I think what a lot of I can say this, I can say like what a lot of viewers or a lot of people tend to forget that content creators are no different than they are too. Meaning that we also enjoy to game as much as they do too. Where the only difference is that we're more on the spotlight, obviously, than they
Yeah.
are. So when it comes to it, when we get given something like a 5090, of course, we'll be ecstatic about it. Will be something I think anybody would certainly be happy about.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and I think what most people are afraid of is that when they watch from us is if they're truly getting the truth about the product. And unfortunately, with Steve, of course, the way Gamers Next is how he talks about the whole industry as a whole can make everything look so negative, and you have so much anger at the industry because of it. And I don't truly think it's fair. Just because, for example, the whole 9950 X3D2 samples weren't given out to everybody, and I'm sure, I think probably all of us reached out to AMD to try to get one just to see what it was, and of course, not everyone was given one. So again, I don't think it's fair to judge in that sense. And no matter what, when we end up creating content the way that we do, we're always we try to keep the truth the way it is. We try to tell the honest truth about our products the way they are.
Yeah.
There's no need for us to kind of spiel on a product that we think is great or not so great.
Yeah. I mean, because I know that even with myself, because I get fairly good amount of free stuff, and then I buy a lot of stuff
Hmm.
too. So
Right.
I kind of feel like I'm in the middle, and it's like it doesn't matter what you buy or if the company gives it to you for free. I mean, you look at something like the 9950X 3D2, okay? That is clearly an overkill CPU. Nobody really needs it, especially for
Right.
gaming. It really doesn't do a whole lot more than what a 9950X 3D does or a 9800X 3D. And so you look at
Hmm.
something like that, and it's like that CPU is designed for a specific person. You're either using it for LLMs or something that
Hmm.
you're actually going to benefit from it, or you're
Right.
buying it because you want the best that's available. You know what I mean? And like
Right.
those two people exist. And then you got the other person that's like, oh man, well, I don't know. I kind of want it, but you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like me, it's like, damn, I mean, I could afford it. I could buy it. I could put it in there, but
Right.
do I really want to take apart my PC to do that? And so I'm like, no, I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't want to do it. I don't want to take it apart to build it. But yeah, I
Right.
could buy it. I want it. But yeah, it's just crazy, man. Like,
And the thing is that it kind of falls back into the whole idea of like in the hardware space, as quick as you upgrade, there's the next generation of something. So as we all know that of course the 9950 extra D2 is pretty much the end pretty much for the Granite Ridge line. So like when it comes to the we can all certainly expect Zen 6, and next thing you know, you're gonna want Zen 6. So the thing is like we're truly never gonna catch up to what comes out or
yeah,
what's available. And it's certainly to learn how to be satisfied for what you already have.
yeah. I think that's probably the hardest thing in gaming these days is to be satisfied. And I know us content creators make that very hard. We make that very
Oh
hard
yeah, yeah, of
because
course.
we are legit designed to be FOMO makers. I mean, I get it. Companies send us products so that we can show our community and stuff, and then that makes the community want it and stuff. And like, I get it. I didn't really understand that, but like honestly, my community brings me just as much FOMO as I bring them. To be
Right,
completely honest, I mean, you're thinking every single day as a content creator, what should I buy so I can show them? And then
right,
like you're literally thinking that every single day, because sometimes it gets hard to just be creative with the stuff you already have, because you've already you, I mean, seriously, people come to me like, how many more videos are you going to make on this? And I'm like, I don't know, I spent
yeah,
$1,000, I'm going to make at least 1,000 videos. No, I'm just joking.
right,
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's like they bring us, they don't understand that we have just as much FOMO
right.
induced by them as we're bringing to them. Like it's crazy.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like
We're just like the ultimate consumer.
yeah, and I don't mind being an ultimate consumer, but it's like I'm not going to buy stuff just to hate on it just because people are feeling some kind of way. It's like most of the stuff I buy, I'm legit satisfied with. And I'm pretty sure you are too. I mean, like, what was the last
Right,
product you bought that you absolutely hated and thought was complete trash?
right. It's really rare.
Very,
Really rare to
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I can't even say.
it's crazy. Like, I think the one, if there's one product that I've bought in recently that I would probably, dude, I really don't. I've enjoyed every single thing I've bought, man. Like, I don't really have anything that I'm not satisfied with the overall experience. And maybe some things I felt maybe it was a little bit, no. Yeah, dude, I feel comfortable with the pricing. I feel comfortable. Maybe that RAM. I would have I would
Yeah.
have, for $400, I would have had maybe a lower cast latency, a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Maybe, I mean, I wish I could have got like a CL30 instead of a CL38. Like, I would,
Right.
$400 for a CL30, I would have been like, yeah, at least I got a good cast latency, but maybe that's the one thing that I wish was a little better out of everything I
It's
bought lately.
I'd say like probably most of the products that we end up with, I think, is mostly going to be based on pricing. I
Yeah.
think because like even then, like when I reviewed the RTX 5090 back then, I remember the biggest beef I had. I remember even the score I gave it. I think it was like a 4 out of 10 was because of the pricing. I feel like it was really expensive,
Yeah.
but but out of everything else, like it does perform really well. And at the time, Nvidia wasn't really good. I'm sure you remember the 50 series when they first
Yeah, it
released,
was it
it
was
took a
buggy.
really
It
long,
was
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
took
was
them like
so buggy.
6 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember, like, what game was I playing? Like, I think it was Mafia, Old Country
Mhm.
is when it started getting a little better. And I was like, holy crap. Because I bought 5070 Ti right when it came out. I didn't get 5090 until way later, until I'd
Mhm.
been through the whole Nvidia stack of 50 series cards. And then I was just like, gosh dang, man, like the 5090, like, in hindsight though, if 5090 was what it is right now today, what would you say now?
Now, to be fair, like, if it is, the way it is now, like, without any issues, I would definitely push it up in a higher scale. I would push it more probably like 7 out of 10, I would say. Pricing is still high, but I think it's still very, comparable to do everything that you expect it to do.
Yeah.
You can especially for its limits. But I think, of course, for something to be perfect, I don't think I've ever gave a perfect rating, to be fair.
I give a lot of
So
I give a lot of 10 out of 10s on this channel because
Oh, oh, re
I'm easily pleased, man.
oh,
Like,
that's a good well, it's not a bad thing.
I'm Gen X, bro. Like, I'm Gen X. We're
Yeah,
we're like easily pleased. I mean, it's like, oh
right.
shit, dude, we were the latchkey kids, bro. It's like we know true despair. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Like, we grew up playing like some 2D side scrollers, and like yeah, dude, gaming is so incredible now. I honestly
Mhm.
look at 5090. I paid $2,600 for mine.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I
I have
think it
zero
was
regrets. Zero
uh-huh.
regrets on that pricing. I mean, like, now, would I pay $3,500 for the same GPU? No, I'd buy an Astral. I'd just pay the extra money for an Astral. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Astral would be nice. I think what you know what's insane, like, I'm sure you've seen it too, like, ASUS has, like, the Matrix,
Yeah.
the ROG Matrix, insane amount of money, 6,000.
Yep.
Gigabyte just recently released their Infinity,
Mm-hmm.
their 5090,
The
again,
MSI
very expensive.
Lightning. Yeah.
Yes, all
God.
super high end.
You know, I think most of those cards come with 212 pins, don't they? They come with the
Most of
two.
them do. I don't think the ASUS ROG Matrix does,
No, that
but
has the
I
back supply though that you
right.
plug in. Yeah.
Yes, they
So
have the
you've got
BTF connector.
Yep. So you do have double on
Yeah,
that one as well.
right.
Honestly, Chris, to be completely honest with you, knowing what a 5090 can do, and then like seeing something like the Matrix or the Lightning, or I don't really like the way the Gigabyte one looks, so it'd have to be either the
Mhm.
Lightning or the Matrix.
Right.
If I was building today, and I could get my hands on like the Chronox case and the like the gosh, what was the new motherboard, Crosshair or whatever, the new
The
Asus
Crosshair
Crosshairs.
Neo,
Yeah, the Crosshair
the
Neos, the one that was in
right.
the Chronix that they had built,
The Glacier?
the Glacier. If I
Yeah.
could build that PC today, I would pay the money for the Matrix. If I was gonna build one, that would be
Mhm.
what I would build right now. Is that exact build? Like, I freaking loved it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. If I was gonna build one today, that's what I would build. And yes, I would absolutely pay the extra money
Yeah.
for the Matrix. It'd be like
Oh,
I figured that would be like pretty close to 10K.
Right.
for a
Yeah.
build
Yeah. It's
that, and then I mean, if I look at the utility I get right now today from the RTX 5090, the way I can edit my videos, it's fast, super fast.
mm-hmm.
The performance I get on the games that look as good as they do right now, even with path tracing, yeah, $10,000 for 10-year PC.
Yeah.
That's
For
pennies on
just
the
about.
dollar. That's pennies on the dollar.
Oh,
But
without the go.
you would have to it would have to last 10 years though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's the thing.
Like if I spent 10K and a PC lasted me 10 years, that's pennies on the dollar. That's I mean, seriously, the amount of money I could make as a content creator within that 10 years making videos and editing videos on that PC, it would be worth it. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
if you're doing like the AI and content creation or building, if you're using that as a business, as a business thing, like to make money,
Right.
no problem. $10,000 and get yourself something that looks as badass as that Chronox did. Oh my gosh, dude,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
you
for
could be
sure.
proud of that thing easily for 10 years, man. Like seriously, like I do place a lot of value on aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I don't know if you do. I mean, like some people are like, oh, I just want that, like, they'll be like, yeah, I want that what is it? The other line that the Asus has, the is it the not
The tough
n-
gaming
not tough, it's their
prime.
no, the color art or whatever.
Oh, pro art. The
Pro
pro
art,
art.
pro art, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people like that aesthetic. You got the
Right.
Pro Art 5090, you have the Pro Art, the black and gold aesthetic and everything, and it's like some people like that. But me
Right.
personally, I lean more toward the Chronux.
Right.
You know that
The current.
that look. Is it Chronux? Chronux. I lean more toward that type of aesthetic, but then I
Right.
also really did like the. I love the Astral. I love the way the Astral looks. Maybe I would
Mm-hmm.
put the Astral. See, I like that BTF back connector to be able to give me the
Oh yeah,
ability to
the
split,
flexibility.
the
Right.
flexibility to split. Like my, have one 12 pin going into the card, and just kind of take that. I like that, and that there would give me a lot more peace of mind with buying a $10,000 PC like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, like, dude, I've got $20,000 freaking battle station right now. I mean, just
Oh yeah, yeah.
$10,000 for one system to rule them all. I don't know, but that's the only way I would do that is if I'm buying like a 90 class from Nvidia. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like when I do upgrade the 5090, I don't know if I'm going to do a 6090 build, but if I do a 6090, I'm rebuilding the whole PC. You know what I mean? If I
Oh
buy
yeah, most people do.
if I'm buying like a 7090, I'm rebuilding the whole PC. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
like it will be a new generation. It's getting a whole new everything. And so I'm probably gonna wait till the next generation of like AM6 before I
Right.
upgrade the 5090 build. But with AMD, like I will upgrade their GPU every generation, and it's not necessarily like I'm gonna rebuild the whole PC for that, but I would for.
Right.
I mean, it just depends. It just depends. Like right now, both my builds match, so it's like pretty cool. So
Exactly.
obviously,
It's a whatever, however you're comfortable with. Like I think actually one of the first builds I did on my channel was based on a Threadripper build. And that was I actually is the very same one that I'm using on this video on this chat.
really.
Yeah, so and that was 3770X.
Oh wow.
And that originally had the 2080 Ti in it. But now
Oh
it
my
has
gosh.
the yeah, now it has the 5080 in there. So it's like it's been through quite some time, still very usable. And it's pretty funny that a lot of the audience now is wanting to fund for another Threadripper build coming up.
Oh nice,
So
nice.
yeah, so it's like they want to see what the new Threadrippers offer. Of course, something like that is very useful for anyone that wants to use it as, say, like a NAS system plus as a streaming slash video editing rig. It's great for something like that. And
Yeah.
then when it comes to the gaming side, it's I think like when it comes to having like the aesthetics, like when it comes to RGBs, I think it's definitely everybody's preference when it comes to it. Personally,
Yeah.
to me, I do like the RGBs when it comes to PCs, and of course, you have those
Oh
ones
yeah.
that says, "Oh, I hate it. I can't stand looking at
Yeah.
it. Rainbow puke and all this."
Unicorn puke, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
dude, I've got mine. I got my PC like right here. This is called Ice, and then
Right. Nice.
my my 9070 X or just got to get the PlayStation, so it's all ice, white and ice. And then
Right.
my Asus, my 9070 XT is in the exact same case but black, and it's all
Right.
red, and the
Oh,
color's red,
nice.
so it's like fire and ice, man. It's badass. I liked it. I was like, that looks really cool. I'm gonna do it. And then unicorn puke
Yeah.
for the other one for my
Right.
7900.
Exactly.
I had it set, but for some reason my MSI motherboard needed an update or some shit, and
Oh,
now
okay.
it turned
Okay.
it back to rainbow puke, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, that could
no.
be pretty annoying.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not too bad. I don't really care. Like RGB looks
No.
cool, man. Like the good thing about PC gaming is you get to be the architect of your build. You know what I mean? You get to build
Right.
what you want, or you go buy a pre-built. Like I'm not anti pre-builts. Like I'm not. Like you basically you probably got a better chance of getting a better overall deal buying a pre-built right now than you do say building it yourself, because obviously you're going
Hmm.
to get to RAM and storage, and that's going to be a roadblock for you. Whereas like your pre-build manufacturers get buy that stuff in bulk, so they get a little bit better deal, and then they turn the
Right.
savings onto you a little bit more. Like Framework Desktop, they are very very good about trying to give you their cost on the RAM and stuff. So I mean, buying from
Right.
them is pretty good. They'll definitely get you the best overall quality that they can do for you, obviously. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know that Asus is trying to keep costs down. I know that freaking MSI and all these other guys are definitely trying to do their best to keep some of the costs down a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I mean, they're the ones that are suffering the most. You know, I mean, it's like right
And
now.
yeah, you've heard the recent news as of recent, I'm sure, where it's like they're expecting like 23 to 37% losses, like
Mhm,
all across the industry through ASUS, MSI, Gigabyte,
yeah,
ASRock. Pretty much all your major PC manufacturers are taking quite a bit of a hit, especially on the whole AI front. So
yeah.
because of this, it's definitely affected them quite a bit. And
Mhm,
as you know, like when we were at ASUS at CES, as you talked to JJ, like they have different ideas when it comes to motherboards, like what they can do on how to improve this whole situation. I
yeah,
think he actually came out with quite a phenomenal idea, which was actually having RAM embedded into motherboards because
yeah,
we don't need as much RAM for something like for AMD processors because
yeah,
thanks to the V cache. So I think like hopefully they can come out with more solutions that can certainly benefit
yeah.
not just ASUS, but also it's going to benefit anybody that does want to purchase motherboards or build a PC.
Yeah, like I was like really interested in like what Asus was doing with that Tough T500. Did you actually get a chance to look at that? The APUs, and then they're using like
Oh
4
yeah,
GPUs and stuff. I
yeah.
told them, I was
It's
like, "Hey, you know, I will absolutely cover one of those on the channel." And because they got a new AMD one that's coming out, and I was like, "I'm definitely interested in covering that if you guys want to ship one out." And so
mhm.
I have not actually talked to Asus since CES.
Yeah. It's to be honest, like
It's
I've
like,
spoken to them, but it's been like on and off, and it's honestly I think it's been this way with a lot of the guys. I think they've been like it's been kind of weird recently, like
yeah,
as of
it's like
recent, I gotta say.
it's like they're holding back their budget for like reviewers and stuff. Because I've talked to other reviewers and stuff. Because I was like, damn, dude,
Hmm.
why are they? I was because I at first I thought they were ghosting me, and I was like, damn, dude, that sucks, man. But
Hmm.
I kind of get it. You know, the industry is definitely like everybody's trying to
Constraint.
survive. Everybody's trying to
Hmm.
survive right now, and you know, then you got like hardware unboxed out there being like, oh, they're killing off everything and shit, and it's just like, shut up, dude. Like you spoiled brats. Like you're so entitled, man. You're like,
The
yeah, we
thing
reached
is,
out to Asus and they said that they're stopping the 5070 Ti, and I'm like, no, they just don't want to send you any more free stuff, bro. Like you guys are out here just being destructive to the overall to everything, and it's like, why, dude? Like just
yeah,
clearly the industry is bad right now, and I get it that they have to survive on their content, but it's like why keep like dragging like these companies that are like they've got more to lose than these guys do, you know what I mean?
Right. I get that too because it's like I know they probably rely on getting the samples, and I certainly understand that reason. But the thing is, like, for most channels, they should certainly. Sometimes you have to be the helping hand too, especially for the companies that are willing to work with you. So sometimes you
Yeah.
have to invest into some of the products that you may or may not, you may want or you may not want in order for to show this product. And I
Yeah.
think that's certainly the best way to treat the situation because that's something that they would certainly respect more of instead of getting pretty much trashed.
Yeah. Like I mean, I'm pretty heavily invested in Asus. Like I Asus for me aesthetically, I really like it. I mean, I like MSI too, but Asus is
Hmm.
more like my, like I jive
Style.
better with Asus. Um but like, I've bought a lot of stuff. I mean, my last Asus purchase was the Xbox Ally X. That was 1,000
Hmm.
buckaroos, and obviously both of my builds are built in Asus cases with Asus motherboards and Asus, the Ryujin freaking air coolers and stuff. And it's like I really love the quality of the products I get from Asus, man. I don't have any issues with them. I love their products, and so I keep buying them, and I was like pretty excited, to work with Asus. But damn, dude, like the industry's broken right now. There's like the last thing I've gotten shipped to me was at Pimax,
The
like
Pimax.
the
Okay.
Pimax Crystal Super that
Yes.
I've got a loan
That's
on
pretty
for 90
awesome.
days. For 90 days,
Oh,
I'm
90 days.
yeah. And so I'm like, I don't know, like yeah, the industry's broken, dude.
I'm I'm getting some really interesting products. Like in fact, I got this. Let me show you. Thanks to Newegg, they sent me out a Bear Dynamics like headset right here, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's a pretty decent headset. And usually, I do cover like accessories and everything too, but it just gives you an idea of like how the industry is. They're
Yeah,
just
this
sending like
the,
what they can at the time.
yeah, these headphones from Rig, bro. I just
Uh-huh.
got these like a couple weeks ago too.
Oh wow,
Like the
nice.
industry, yeah, dude. I remember when I first started YouTube and I only had like maybe a couple thousand subscribers, dude. It was like before like
Yeah,
the whole tariffs and everything went in. It was like I was turning people down, Any ones that
yeah,
offer me money, I turn them down immediately. I'm like, nah, I'm not into that whole, taking money for reviews type stuff. And
right.
I mean, like we both know exactly where those ones come from, and it's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, no, dude, I'm not going to review your product. You're not going to pay me any money for that. If you want to send me the product for a fair review, I have no problem with that. But I'm saying what I want to say, and
Right.
the funny thing is most of them do end up being like, okay, yeah, we'll send you the product. You sure you don't? And I'm like, no, because I'm not going to glaze your product for money.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I will, if it's a good product, I will tell but I'm not agreeing to making a video unless the product it meets my standard, So I've gotten a lot of stuff that way, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, like it's it's kind of dried up too because of the tariffs and stuff. So it's like it is what it is, It's like we're not entitled to anything, and you know
Right.
it's like the company wanting to use it's kind of a win-win, the company sends us product because they want access to our communities that we've built trust with. And the way I look at it is if a company is willing, especially like a company like Asus or something like that, if they're willing to send you a product for your community, that means that they trust you to, represent their product too. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
it's kind of like, building rapport with a company. It's like they want your honest opinion. Obviously the ones that are like, hey, we'll pay you for a good review. We all know who they are. We all know
Yeah.
where they come from,
Right.
and most of us, I would at least like to think that most of us are like, nah, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
clearly that's like that could tank your community and your channel pretty quickly. But like a company like Asus, they reach out to you, you reach out to them, you come to a collaboration, where you're like, I don't feel like it's bad to take money and do an ad, like obviously,
Hmm.
like, hey, this is sponsored, this is what we're doing, we're showing you the product, stuff like that. And so like when
Right.
Steve came out about MFG 4X and
Hmm.
saying that Nvidia was being nefarious about it, it was like, no, they just want to market this feature because they know
Hmm.
it's good, they believe in the feature, it's helpful, especially for like their lower end hardware and stuff. I just feel like there's too much confusion about a lot of that stuff. It's like I mean I get the ad thing, but like most of the ones that I've gotten from like the companies that everybody knows are like, hey, we'll give you this much money. Will you just do a thing, and then can you also do one on Amazon for us and stuff too? And it's like, oh no, dude, I'm not doing that on
Yeah,
Amazon. I'm not
yeah.
gonna give you a review for a product that for money. Like I'm not doing that. That's creepy.
Yeah, those are like the yeah, those are like the emails you send back and say like, "Do I
Yep.
look like a glazer to
Yeah.
you?"
Do I look like a
Yeah.
troll? No,
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
not, man. It's like, and,
Yeah.
and and the moment you cover their products, they pretty much will take your video and chop it up and use it all around the world.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? So you got to be very careful with the companies that you're dealing with, because I know Asus
Absolutely.
isn't going to take my video, chop it up, and then like use it as propaganda around the world to like get people to buy their products. Like I know they're not going to do that, but some companies, there's no laws to prevent them from doing that in
Oh, yeah, yeah.
in specific places. So then they get you glazing their product, for a little fee or whatever, and then you're done. Like you're done, and yeah, that's crazy. Like that's something I would never freaking do. But
Yeah.
uh,
Hopefully everyone has their standards
oh
when it comes to this, because it's like when people come to our channels for a reason, and it's
yeah,
because we speak the truth on the hardware and we say what we truly feel about it, and if the value's there.
yeah,
And if you do that with a product that you don't truly believe in, then it doesn't represent
yeah.
you don't really truly represent anything.
Well, I mean, it kind of lowers the bar too. You know what I mean? Because if you're out there
Right.
glazing these products and people are buying them, and you're damaging the companies like Asus and all these people that actually do the R&D work to like bring you
Right.
good usable features and products. And so if you're taking that money for like some standard knockoff product, you're devaluing the industry as a whole too, because once the people that are actually paying the money to develop can't afford to do that because they're not making enough income, then you're pretty much just like your features and everything stop. They don't move
Right.
forward anymore, and it's like it's crazy. There's a lot of that out there, and it really sucks. I've gotten a lot
It
of those
does.
emails, and I'm pretty sure you've gotten a crap ton of emails like that too. I mean,
Yeah, it's like so bad to the point where they end up in the spam box.
yep, most of them
Yeah.
go straight to spam now too. It's it's
Mhm.
it's bad, It's and I know there's creators out there that would absolutely be like, yeah, I'm taking the bag, bro, and it's like, for what? Short-term personal gain, bro, and then
Yeah.
you deceive and you destroy your community, and then where are you
Yeah,
at?
100% not worth it.
Definitely not.
I gotta ask, like, are you thinking of going over to Computex this year?
I'm not gonna do Computex. I probably won't. Maybe not for a few years. If I
Hmm.
get to a point where it's like where my channel's big enough and my community, wants me to meet that demand, then possibly,
Hmm.
But because I mean, I got a promotion recently, so now
Oh,
I'm
awesome!
I'm I'm in
Congratulations.
charge. I'm in charge of stuff, and so now it's like trying to set my employees up for success before I would go on something like that is a little bit more of a I can still do freaking CES because it's like one state over. I could get back quick if I
Yeah,
need
that's not
to,
that far for you.
but it's like going to Computex, isn't that in Taiwan?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like, do you
Yes.
do you do that? Do you go there?
I was planning to, but I have actually a dog that he's getting old. So he just turned 14, actually. His birthday
Oh
was
man,
just like this past week. So we decided that we're going to spend time with him before it passes. But a lot of my family and everything is over in Taiwan too. I
oh
have.
nice,
So
nice.
it would, yeah, it would be really nice to go there for that. It just seems like the timing, every time I go to back to Taiwan, it's usually on the time when they don't have Computex. But the
Yeah,
time that I actually do want to go,
they
of course,
yeah.
yeah, I got things that happen.
So I mean, like Computex. Do you think they're going to have anything really major to show off in Computex, or is it just going to be more AI, AI, AI?
I feel like it's going to be that too. Mostly AI, and the things that they will show and feature are just going to be pretty much like reiterated products. Like pretty much nothing new, no new chipsets, no new
Yeah.
process, nothing crazy exciting. And I was actually speaking to a lot of the audience about this too, because when it comes to the Nvidia 50 series or their Super series that it was supposed to be expected, especially at CES, uh, I I honestly think they're going to completely cut that line out. I think it's not going to be any Super series, that they're just going to go straight to the 6000 series
Yeah,
from here
I
on
think
out.
they're I think they're cutting them out. It's too late in the thing. I mean, even if they did them, I guess they theoretically could, but
It'd be pointless,
yeah,
especially if they come out with the 6000 series sometime
in
soon.
like 6 months. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we've got like half a year. I mean, I will be at CES this year because this will be a big one for
Right.
2027.
Oh,
Obviously, I'm hoping to.
absolutely.
Obviously, AMD will probably show. Well, AMD might not show nothing.
You know
I mean,
what? Every
we'll at least get hands on like they did
yeah,
the year before. But
right.
I'm
I
planning
don't
on staying the whole time this time.
Oh yeah, definitely got to stay. You know, the crazy thing is like I feel like this year I was hoping it was certainly a lot more exciting for CES, but we all knew that they were definitely going to show the features of AI. More than likely, it's only 6 months away, and more than likely they're going to show AI again.
Yeah,
And
I'm not too distraught about AI. Like I kind of like it. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I don't have a problem with it, but I just I just think that their main person that it's like the people that are interested in AI are obviously paying big bucks for AI,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's like all the little gamer dudes are just sitting here crying about it and being like they don't even understand what's going on. They're just like, well, AI, and it's like, dude, you guys are. I mean, I get that it's making your costs go up, but like some of the stuff we saw at CES was actually pretty damn helpful.
yeah.
You know,
I gotta say though, like when it comes to like their press conferences, I've noticed like I feel like it's not good for the gaming side of things, not as much as it was
yeah,
anymore.
we're
It's definitely
definitely yeah
changing.
we're not the main focus anymore. That is for
Yeah,
sure. We're not the main focus.
yeah, that's certainly the case too.
But
I
if
think
we,
for
oh yeah, go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say I think CS this year it's gonna be, what was it?
Exact same days,
This exact same days pretty much. It's gonna
sixth to
fall
the
on
ninth.
the, yeah, 6th and the 9th. That's
Mhm.
pretty wild.
Yeah, that is crazy. Like I'm excited about it. You're gonna be there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, for certain.
We'll meet
I'll
up again
definitely
and
be
we'll
there.
do some dual coverage this time. You could take me around and show me some of the stuff that I missed last year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah, we
need
could
to get
definitely
in.
take a look
I
there.
need to get into. See, I wanted to spend more time with AMD this year, and I wanted to spend more time with
Uh-huh.
ASUS. But we wanted my wife, wanted to go walk like the main um,
Oh, the main exhibit, the
the main
expo?
exhibits and stuff, and so
Yeah.
we did some of that. And most of the stuff that we're interested in was in the hotel rooms, and a lot of the other stuff was just out on the
Yeah.
floor and stuff. Um,
A lot
so
of traveling too. It's like a lot it's very time consuming, as you know. Like when it
oh
comes to
yeah,
covering, it's almost hard to fit everything into one. Like there was a lot of companies out there that was that didn't really show at the main event, which is
yeah.
you had companies like Corsair, Lian Li, Fantex,
Corsair was clear up at the
yeah.
where were they at? Because I was talking to the rep
I can't
in
even
the
remember.
email, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was like clear over in another place. But
Yeah. I
I
think the
mean,
area. I think it was the area,
no, they were
if I'm
farther
not
than that. They were,
farther?
yeah, it
They're
was up
far,
past
oh,
our
wow.
MGM. It was past MGM.
Uh, yeah, I can't remember, but a lot of them were far. I think, who else was there? Um, uh, Be Quiet was there too. Be Quiet was
Hmm.
there too. Yeah.
I
Uh,
I saw. So we had like the AMD room, and then straight across the hall was what MSI was right across from them.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's over the Venetian. We're at the
Yeah, the
Venetian.
Venetian, and they wouldn't
Yeah.
even let me in because they had like people already walking in there, and I just didn't have time to stand there, so I missed MSI completely. And then
That
thermal
sucks.
take, I missed thermal take completely
They were packed. They were
because of the same
packed.
thing. Like everybody was packed, but Asus, man, I spent like 3 hours at Asus because
Oh
you
yeah,
just
yeah,
you don't really truly understand how much stuff Asus really does until you see everything in one room and you're like, holy shit, you guys do all of this? I was like,
yeah.
that's crazy. And I was like, damn, this is badass. Samsung, did you do the Samsung thing?
Yeah, Samsung was quite amazing too. It
Samsung,
had
those
quite the
those
performance.
big TVs are so ugly though up front, up close. I was like,
Those
no
the
way.
RGB TVs. Yeah.
Like I got right up next to one of them, and I was like, why did they waste this on 4K? This should have been 8K. Like it looked
Yeah.
like a screen door when I was sitting there looking at it. I mean, the colors were beautiful, but oh my gosh! But then the 3D 6K monitor,
Yeah.
ooh boy, I
Yeah, they
I
were
was
amazing.
I was thinking about actually picking one of them up.
Yeah, and it
I
was a and the best way to describe it too, like it was almost like if you played a 3DS, but in a much more larger and much more clear, like
yes,
almost it was like super clear.
like that, I was playing because I was playing Hell is Us before I even went, and so I was sitting there and they're like trying to run it on like a 5080, and so I
Yeah.
backed it out and I reset. I put it on low settings and I turned on MFG. Oh my gosh, it
Uh-huh.
was so much smoother after that because it felt really janky trying to play that at 6K with 3D and stuff. And I was like, no, dude, just trust me. Like this is UE5. You can run low settings and it still looks amazing. And then I was playing
Hmm.
like the Crimson Desert there, and that turned out to be an incredible game.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah, yeah.
it's like, damn, Samsung's got some cool stuff. Like
They
they
do.
did have some cool stuff. Those
LG's just dropping their display very soon, which is that
yep
5K display, the
yep
5K 2K display.
hmm
I think that's an incredible display too.
yeah. I was sitting there because that's what I got now is LG mostly, and I was sitting there and I was doing that two off sim racing thing over at the LG
Oh
booth.
yeah,
Did you
right.
actually get a chance to do that?
I didn't do the sim racing part, but I did
So,
see it.
so I jumped in there, and those 5K, 2K monitors, they are nice, but it's like I I, I got back and I bought the 45-inch 30 3440 by 1440p like my 39-inch, and I was just like, yeah, that's perfect for my sim racing rig. Um,
Right.
another place there was gosh, Razer. I spent some time with
Oh,
Razer too.
Razor was good too.
They have
Yeah.
some pretty cool stuff, man. That Project Ava, I want that bad. Like I I,
Yeah.
I was
I
sitting
think a
here
lot of people do.
I was sitting here the other day and I was playing this game and I was like, gosh damn, dude, I wish I had Ava
Hmm.
to like so I could ask like stuff about this specific game, because that'd be kind of cool, man. Because sometimes I'll be because I rush through games so fast sometimes that like I would love to have that. Like, hey, is there something that I could be doing a little bit different that's gonna like change the outcome or because instead of beating my head against the wall, I got like Ava to sit there and tell me, oh, try this, and I think that'd be kind of cool, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think it's gonna be quite interesting to see how it comes out too, because I
Yeah, for
think
real.
we're gonna see like a bit more of that. I think we're definitely gonna see a lot more of that type of technology when it comes to gaming, when improvement, especially when it comes to esports. I think that's
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
great for something like that.
I think it would do like helping you min max your character and stuff like that. Like
Hmm.
I just, dude, I like that kind of stuff. I like AI. The one thing that I really think would change people's minds on AI, I saw this demo the other day that some developer worked on. It's like a GTA 5 mod where they put
Hmm.
actual AI LLMs as the
Oh yeah,
NPCs. Did you see that?
yeah,
And I
I
was
did
talking
see
about that a
that.
while ago, and I was like, dude, if they could find a way like Ubisoft to have all the NPCs like actual running on an LLM, they would like do things in the world and like create like I think it would just be absolutely incredible. And obviously they could rent server space from some of these places to like run those LLMs, but I just don't know.
Right.
That would be cool. That'd be very cool.
Yeah, 100%. I think that would be definitely the future of gaming, especially when it comes to like actually having a deep dialogues with
Yeah.
these NPCs. Like you can actually do like so many different side quests, and just imagine the different possibilities it could have. Like when it comes to generating different side quests that you can have in a game.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, the dude was like talking, pretending he was the cop and like talking to the people he pulled over. I
Hmm.
thought that was freaking incredible. That would bring a whole nother level of immersion to like be like, just use your voice and you talk, it's like a police simulator or something, like you're pretending you're like, simulating being a police officer and stuff. Like I just think that'd be so incredible, man. Like I
And
don't
just
understand.
imagine, yeah,
Keep
just
going.
imagine the modding community, like
You got
what type of different mods you can create out of it.
yeah,
Like you can
exactly.
like come up with so many different ideas, like when it comes to having stories to the game.
Exactly. We just got so many weirdos out there that are going negative against AI, and it's just like, come on, you weirdos, just be quiet. Like let the AI bros do what they're doing, man. It's kind of cool. And yeah,
Hmm.
so I don't know. I find it quite interesting where we are with freaking PC gaming and hardware and all of this stuff. Like I do. Like I buy some of this stuff and I'm just like blown away like a kid in a candy store, you know? But I come to gaming and hardware with that childlike mindset. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
humility and stuff like that. And it's just like, gosh, everything's so incredible. And most people are just they take the shit too seriously. It's just video games, dude. Like it's literal
Hmm.
video games. Like you see how weird people get on some of this stuff, and it's like we're talking about video games, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
And like these dudes are all like serious and stuff, and I'm like, dude, if you came to your job with that same oh, you'd be great at what you do. But no, man, you're
Right.
sitting here wasting all of that on video games. You know what I mean? And then that's why you're broke. That you know,
And that's
that's why you're broke.
right. And I mean, they're meant to have fun with. It's like you don't go to a party expecting to point out the most obvious eyesore or anything like that in a party, and just
Exactly.
to bust the bubble.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, I love Digital Foundry. I think they're great guys, but gosh damn, dude, they have like broken gaming so much for so many people.
Mhm.
With how they're like, oh yeah, we got to like talk about the flickering. It's like, why, dude? Like most of us don't notice flickering when we actually are immersed in the game. You know what I mean? Like you might notice it at first when you're like lollygagging and looking at the new game and the new visuals and stuff, but once you get immersed in a game, like that shit don't matter no more. It
Right.
don't matter.
I'd say more of the issues is just the playability factor. If it's you're able to play the game comfortably, I think is very important. Because realistically, throughout time, like you're not going to see games where it's going to be perfect visually. It
Yeah.
just doesn't happen. There's always going to be something that kind of throws it off. There's something weird about it. Just like, for example, walking down steps in a game.
Yeah.
Like using that as like a benchmark is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
like
Huh.
like as you know, when it comes to gaming, it's should be focused on how comfortable you are playing it and if it's playable. That I think those are key. But if you come
Oh
out with
yeah.
games like I've heard of, I didn't get to play this game. I don't know if you got to play it yet. Which is Samson? It's called
Oh
Samson.
yeah, I got it. I got it. I
You
got
got
it.
it. So what's your thoughts about that game, for example?
Um it's fun. It's definitely like old school. Go into it with an old school mindset and you'll be all right.
Right.
It's it wasn't
Yes.
it wasn't bad at all. It's not bad at all. I mean, it was kind of a little bit janky at first,
Right.
um, but it's not bad. It's a small project, man. It's
Yeah.
on. I mean, it's
they
made
were
by it's made by a few guys just having fun,
right.
man.
And one thing I really liked, and I'm sure you noticed it in the game, was just like how amazing the hair flow was, like in the game, like how accurate the hair
Yeah,
flow movement is. It's
it's
pretty
it's yeah, it's like sometimes, dude, like I am not opposed to buying a
right,
tech demo game just
right,
for like tech demo shit because it looks cool. Like I'm not opposed to that. Like I don't get mad about that kind of shit, you know, paying $25 for a game and like having like this like tech demo stuff. It's like, dude, I don't get mad about that. Buying Assassin's Creed freaking Black Flag resynced.
mhm,
Absolutely, man. That is exactly what I wanted it to be. You know what I mean? It's like, damn.
yeah,
But I like video games and I don't care, bro. I like video games more than I like money. So you
right,
know
and
exactly you
and
know
that's the
exactly
thing.
what I'm
It's
buying.
right. So, like for example, just like in Samsung, like you enjoyed the game, you personally enjoy the game, and that's how it's meant to be. Like if you liked it, a game, just enjoy playing it, and not just to go off of just some critic's voice. Because, for example, they even rated that game as the worst game of the year for
Oh yeah, dude.
2026.
They these critics don't know what the hell they're talking. I mean, they just destroy products that are easy. I get how easy it is to destroy a game like at Samsung, but dude, I liked Mind's Eye too. I thought Mind's Eye was freaking pretty cool. You know, you get
Hmm.
into Mind's Eye and it's all maxed out on a 5090 and stuff, and you're like, damn, this is great. 9070 XT. And you play through the game and it had character and people just like they always like zero in on the shit that is like, yeah, let's just destroy it. And it's like, I mean, the developer didn't do themselves any favor, but like oh, they're just out to get me. It's like, no, dude, they're out to get everybody. You're not
Right.
special. Like you made a
Yeah.
game that these guys could easily tear apart, and with your pedigree, they expect you should have known that people were going to hold you to a
Oh
higher
yeah.
level. You know,
Yeah, these guys are like they're like velociraptors. They're just
yeah,
looking
yeah.
to tear it down real quick if they
They're
can.
these little boys are hungry, man. They need those
Mhm.
clicksies. They need the clicksies, man. It's crazy. Oh,
Mhm.
damn, yeah. So CES 2027. I hope to see you there. It's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Certainly have a good time. Certainly expecting a big generational shift, especially for 2027.
At least I think so. I think so.
Mm,
I think Nvidia is
yeah,
going to show up something cool. I think
I
AMD.
think.
I think RDNA 5. I mean, we could talk about RDNA 5 now. I think that RDNA 5 is going to be a true revolution for AMD.
Oh, absolutely.
I I mean, gosh, even RDNA 4, if they just had a 450 power budget with 96 CUs, I think that thing would be easily competitive with high end Nvidia. I mean, I think easily would do something crazy, and I get why they didn't do it,
Hmm.
but damn, I wish they would have. I wish that they had like a 9080 or a 9090. Dude, that would have been
Yeah, go up
so
against it.
incredible.
Yeah, because obviously, like with AMD and just like everyone else, even Nvidia themselves, they're so focused on becoming the pretty much the winner of the AI race, and that's the goal. Like where everybody is going to.
Yeah.
That's why if you've seen the pricing, like when it comes to the stock shares, like if AMD
Oh
has
yeah,
like
it's
shot up
like
dramatically.
400 and
Yeah,
something, man. I'm like,
yeah,
gosh, damn, dude. I was looking at that today and I was like, whoa, dude, that is incredible. I'm very
yeah.
proud of AMD.
Oh yeah, and it's just going to continuously go up. I mean, Nvidia's going up dramatically, even like through the past couple of years. You have Intel that's gone up quite a bit. You
Yeah,
look at a lot of the large companies; they're all doing actually very well because
yeah.
they're focused on the whole AI factor. But in the end, even though we're taking it rough for now, I know I certainly can understand why not everybody likes it. Like for me personally, I'm not a big fan of Microsoft Copilot. I don't think a lot of people are a fan of that
I don't
either.
really. I'm indifferent.
Uh,
I'm indifferent. I use Copilot.
oh, you just go. Oh, okay,
I
okay.
I do. I actually play around with it, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, make me a picture. Do this. I like playing around with it. It's a cool,
Yeah.
fun toy. Um, Obviously, there is a lot of utility on it.
Right.
A lot of stuff that I think could be helpful. And I mean,
Mhm.
I don't really mind it taking pictures of what I'm doing. Like, I don't really
Right.
care, because, I can use that because I'm not even joking. There's legit been times when I'll be looking for something and I'll
Uh-huh.
forget where the hell it was. And like, I don't mind recall as a feature, but I use Copilot more than I use recall. I don't think I've used recall at all yet, but
Yeah, I don't think a ton of people use recall from what I've seen at least. But like Copilot's like an example. I think there's certain aspects that people don't like AI to be in. For example, like if they come out with K2, I don't think they want to see and Microsoft understands this too that they remove Copilot out of pretty much all the Xbox projects because of it. And
yeah,
same thing when it came to the new upcoming Windows because they know
I think
that
they
it's a feat. I mean, I think it's the correct decision just because, at least for now,
they put it.
because
Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
thinking. They put it on the back burner. It's still
right,
clearly the hardware's capable,
right,
so it's like one of those things of like, yeah, we got them all. Let's turn it on. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that could easily happen, especially with like, just as you know, like LG's, they pretty much like force updated like Copilot into like a lot of the TVs, and there was so many
Oh
people that
yeah,
didn't like that, and they ended up
yeah.
removing it.
That's crazy. I like this new monitor. It's like, oh man, it's cool, but it's got way more functionality than your average monitor because it's got like the whole
Right.
smart TV stuff built into it. So
Yeah.
it functions more like my C2 did, but it also has like the monitor setup and everything. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of annoying because every time you go to turn on the PC, I got to actually
Uh-huh.
use the remote to turn it to the
That's
PC screen.
really
So
Interesting.
it's kind of annoying, but it's not that big
Right.
of a deal. I use it for my sim racing, so
Yeah. Yeah, I think just like when it comes to the monitors, they're gonna consistently evolve. That's why they even include like the whole title of like AI monitors practically now. Like
yeah.
they can learn everything about your setup and how to make it look even better.
Yeah. See, I'm on board with like I mean at the end of the day, dude, I just want good image quality and good performance. You know what I mean? And if
Hmm.
and if AI can do if AI can do that, like at first I was against it. I was. When we started listening to like I think it was like Brian Castellanos and
Hmm.
Digital Foundry, Alex Battaglia. They were talking, to the cyberpunk guys, and they
Right.
were just bringing out like the path tracing, and it was changing like the thing right then. That was my freak out session with the whole like DLSS thing. I was like, whoa, 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 what are we doing, man? Like this is changing the artistic direction, blah blah blah, all that shit. And then I had to
Right.
then I had to stop and think, does it really matter? I just want good graphics. Like,
Right.
does it really matter? I just want good graphics. Like, it doesn't matter what they use behind the scenes. When I see the end product, I'm either going to like it or I'm going to hate it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter if Grace's face has changed
Hmm.
before I've seen like the original game, like before I've seen what Grace looks like, if that game was to come out tomorrow and Grace looked like the new DLSS 5, do you really think anybody's going to give a shit? No. Nobody's going to
Right.
care. They're all just going to be like, damn, these are badass graphics and blah, blah, blah. Nobody's going to give a shit. It's just that
Hmm.
we've seen Grace before the DLSS 5. And so now we're looking at like neural texture rendering. And it's like, okay, like how do we, like now our brains are broken, because it's like, oh my gosh, she's a different looking woman now. When in reality, she looks damn near identical to the actress. Like when you actually see her, you're like, oh, okay. Like once I saw the actress, I was like, okay, yeah. I'm not too
Hmm.
mad about it. But then obviously you look at stuff like like the Harry Potters and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this looks. I don't know, man. Like I've had like this on off on thing with like DLSS. Like
Hmm.
DLSS 3 made everything look like plastic, so I didn't really care
Right.
for it. It just over sharpened everything, and it looked like plastic to me. AMD's FSR 3 looked better. I was like, it just looks fuller. The image quality looks better. Whatever. DLSS 4 came out, and I was like, okay, now I'm getting some of that like softer tone back. It's looking better, And like obviously FSR 4 launched at the same time, and it was like, damn, these are like indistinguishable now.
Right.
4.5, we were at CES, we get back, and this comes out, and I was like, it over sharpens shit again, man. But like I'm still getting the detail. Like DLSS 3, it was over sharpening, and I was losing detail.
Hmm.
4.5 was over sharpening, but I was still getting the detail. So I'm like, all right, whatever, I can deal with it. It's fine. 5 is completely transforming
Hmm.
what you're seeing with the flip of a switch.
Right.
So 4.5 is probably, or 5 is probably the most transformational DLSS in terms of like what we're seeing on screen. And so I don't know. I looked at the lighting, and that was the thing I noticed first was the lighting, like on
Hmm.
Leon and in every scene. Like that was the
Oh
thing
yeah,
I
yeah.
noticed. And I was like, whoa, this is incredible. And then obviously after watching it a few more times, you start to notice that the face looks different, you start noticing some other stuff. But my initial impression, and I was honest about it in my video, was like, damn, this looks cool. Like this looks pretty cool. And so I'm willing to give it a chance. I want to see it on my own screen, and if I like it, I like it. Cool, I'll cover it and stuff like that. Just like MFG 4X, dude. I was like, everybody was trying to take it down, and I'm like, no, I actually like this feature. It's pretty cool. Like I'm really jiving with MFG 4X. It's really
Right.
cool. And so I don't know, man. I just kind of feel like I feel like the software is like it's pretty damn good right now. It's gonna get better.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
it's gonna improve.
we're right back to the crux of this video with how the hell does AMD and Nvidia price these software features to make it seem fair, because these software features are going to extend the longevity of our hardware. So how do they price that in a way that seems fair, that doesn't make us seem like we're paying, because we're obviously, if we turn off the features, we're gonna notice the lackluster gains in hardware performance. Okay, it's like you turn on ray tracing and path tracing on a 5090, you get 30 frames per second. Like
Hmm.
you're gonna notice that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But when you turn on all the features, you get like 300 frames, and you're like, oh, it still looks incredible and it's smooth as shit. How do they price that in? Because Nvidia's like, dude, I'm giving these guys 300 freaking frames a second at 4K path tracing. I'm gonna
Hmm.
charge them $2,000 for the GPU. And most people are
Right.
like, no, you're only giving us 30 frames a second. It's not fair. It's like how the hell do they price that shit in? And then how do they get gamers on board with that? Like the casuals, no problem. Boom, they're
Hmm.
sold hook, line, and sinker. You get them in your comment section all the time. They're like, yeah, I'm using MFG 4X and this shit's badass. Blah blah blah.
Right.
I can run 4K and and it's like they don't care. Like the casuals are already sold. Like they're already sold. But
Right.
how does Nvidia and AMD convince us enthusiasts that this is the future and it's okay?
I think it's a very difficult process for anybody to go through, especially for those who aren't on the more technical side of things. If you prefer to see the actual, because there's going to be people out there that wants to see the raw power performance, because that gives you like the fair rating of saying, okay, this is this much of an increase over, say, like 40% over of its rasterization. They want to see that. Now, if this doesn't happen, and say if the rasterization somehow declines, it gets down to like it loses like negative 10%, and then they end up getting like about like, but they get improved frame generation, you can be certain you're going to hear about it. You're
I think
definitely going to hear about it.
I think that's where we're going though.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, okay, 5090 is a pretty decent sized die, and it's pretty powerful. Okay,
Right.
sooner or later that power will be attainable in an APU
Yeah.
eventually. Like so, I mean, the way I made my video on the 5090 is like the 5090 is double a 9070 XT and a 5070 Ti. Okay,
Right.
easily double that performance. Okay, if Xbox Helix comes out and it's like 9070 XT, that means my 5090 is still twice the power.
Right.
So the next console could meet 5090 in like 14 years,
Hmm.
and I'm still on my 5090 and I'm still playing all of those games on
Right.
5090 at pretty much the same performance. And it's like, that's 14 years from now. This is technically a 20-year GPU for $2,600 in today's money. When
Right.
in when in 20 years, if I'm still rocking a 5090, I mean, of course, clearly I'll be like way past that as a content creator. But you see where we're going with this. But I mean, obviously the new GPU line is going to come up, and as a content creator, you kind of have to move forward every generation. Do you even really get the chance to fully enjoy the hardware? And I think that's why a lot of us get cynical to a point where it's like, it's not worth the money. It's not worth the money. Is because we're like upgrading every freaking generation. We're not truly getting the full value of that
Hmm.
hardware anymore. Once you become a content creator and you upgrade every generation, you're no longer ever getting the full value. Like you technically by that alone, you no longer know the value of the products you're reviewing. So
Hmm.
in my thing, it's like maybe reviewers should not talk about value. Period.
Hmm.
Because we it's apparent they no longer know the value. Because I mean, you got guys coming out at the beginning of this generation telling you how shit 8 GB GPUs are,
Hmm.
and it's like if you turn these new games to low settings, try this. Like after our thing, go to any
Hmm.
new video game, drop it to low settings, and tell me that doesn't look as good or better in some cases than last generation's maxed out settings.
Hmm.
And those all run perfectly fine on 8 GB GPUs.
Right. I mean, of course, there's always the limits depending on like how far you're pushing the game. Like whether I'm assuming on 1080p, it can be done. But if it's on like higher resolution displays, of course, then it'll be noticeable in that sense.
Just well, I mean, you can run
yeah.
them at 4K with the obviously you can run them at 4K with performance level upscaling.
Mm-hmm.
You can still run. That's what I'm saying. Like a 9060 XT can essentially give me a 4K experience if I'm running low settings and using like the features and stuff. Like it's not bad, you know. I mean, there's
I think for those that will enjoy the game for the game, like most people that will just look to play and just happy with 30 frames, I think would be okay with that. But it's for those who are looking for a bit more of the fluidity and the lower latency. I think those are the ones that wouldn't enjoy it as much.
they need more money. They need better
Mhm.
jobs. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Look, you guys are gonna have to get a
Yeah.
man job if you want
Uh,
high frames and hardware. You're gonna have to pay for it.
right.
Unfortunately, they're not giving the shit away for free anymore. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
They know the value of what they're selling now. They're not.
Right.
I honestly kind of feel like that's what it is. Like they know the value. The
Yeah.
value in the AR market is significantly higher than the gaming market, and if gamers still want if gamers still want that hardware, they're gonna have to pay for it.
Right.
I mean,
And that's
that's
the unfortunate truth of everything. And another thing that that's always good to bring up. I'm really curious about how Project Helix is going to do this, and if they are going to be willing, because it seems like they may go away with this whole Game Pass and turn it more into like a true hybrid PC, and that you wouldn't have to pay these extra costs. Like you don't have to pay $25 or $30 a month now to be
for
able to
online
play,
gaming. Yeah,
yeah, for online gaming, which can make the cost very expensive when you game on a console. Uh,
yeah,
when you think about, like, for example, the PS5 Pro, where you had to have the PS membership, the PS Plus membership, in order to enjoy your games to play online with your friends.
yeah,
I think that is certainly the biggest benefactor. Is I think the value lies a bit more there
yeah.
in being able to go online and be able to play the games that you want to without having to worry about paying every single month in order for you just to play your games.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of a big one. I do think that Xbox will do away with it. There's no way they can do a hybrid system and still try to keep that. I mean, I guess
Right.
they could theoretically kind of keep it in place a little bit. They would have to because they got legacy hardware like Series X and stuff that would still have to essentially be there, but
Right.
they'll have to find a creative way to get people to still pay for it. But I think they're still gonna try to keep. I think they'll still try to keep some of that.
Probably just mostly, if they do, it's probably going to be the Game Pass stuff, like for you to
Yeah,
play these games.
yeah, and to have
I
like
think it's going to be that.
streaming and stuff like that. But
Right.
I think that's what they were doing this generation was trying to figure out a way to keep monetizing
Hmm.
outside the ecosystem. Like how do they keep to monetizing the you? Um, Xbox going PC hybrid is kind of smart, but it also opens them up to where they don't necessarily have to subsidize the console anymore
Right.
because now you've got access to Steam and everything else. Whereas PlayStation still kind of needs to subsidize if they still continue to stay closed off. They have to kind of subsidize because it's that's not just a thing with the customers. That's a thing with game developers too to sell into that ecosystem at that 30% cut. They have
Right.
to guarantee that you know cohesive ecosystem. So Xbox doing away with that, they no longer have to subsidize the hardware, whereas PlayStation still has to subsidize the hardware in order to keep developers and players in an affordable console box. But I think PlayStation's got a really good shot at that because they solved the
Hmm.
4K thing. They really did, like PSSR2. Have you seen it in person?
PSSR2, I have not got to see it
Oh
in
my
person.
gosh.
Only got to see the like demos of it, but I didn't really get to like experience it.
Oh man, you got to see it in person. It's like, whoa,
Hmm.
it's mind blowing what a console can do at 4K 60 and you're like, wow, is this really a PS5 Pro? And so like they've solved that problem, so I do think they're going to be
Hmm.
okay going into the next generation and still convincing, I do see the PlayStation market share shrinking next generation even more than it did this generation. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It just
I, you know what's a good question too is the fact like how do you think the Steam machine will redefine the upcoming generation?
I don't think it's going to redefine much, just because I think Steam Machine is going to be more of a niche product just because it's on Linux.
Hmm.
And obviously the negativity that's already been, they've already poisoned the well with the 8 GB GPU and all that shit. The well's already poisoned. Um,
Hmm.
it's going to have I feel like adoption is going to be more like or like the Steam Deck or whatever. I don't think it's
Right.
gonna I don't think it's gonna change much. I think Xbox and PlayStation are still going to remain the dominant players going into next generation and probably throughout. But if Steam brings another upgraded version of the Steam machine that's more
Hmm.
powerful, that can compete with the higher end consoles like Helix and PS6,
Hmm.
then I could see it really starting to change things, at least in terms of like becoming like another competitive, you know, ecosystem, or at least retaining the entry level PC market,
Right.
because Helix is set to basically upset that foundation of entry level affordable PCs,
Right.
depending on the price. If it's like 8 to 1,200 bucks, you could probably get rid of like the low end PC gamer, man. Like I don't know this, I don't know some once you go PC, you're pretty much like, oh, I love PC. You just the thrill of it or
It's
whatever. But
Yeah, it's hard to turn back from, especially like for those who first built a PC or has actually started modifying their PC. They'll
yeah,
feel like it's hard to do that on a console. But what's interesting is, from of course, from what if uh, if you've been hearing the same thing about how they have like even possibly ASUS and MSI working on these
yeah,
on Project Helix, that's definitely going to change things if that's the
yeah.
case.
I mean, Asus has already got the ROG Nooks out there, which are pretty
Hmm.
good. I was trying to get them to send me one to like check out for a little while. Like I
Hmm.
said, I haven't been in touch with Asus since CES, and I hear a lot of other content creators having the same problem. So
Yeah,
I don't really feel too bad about that. But I don't know.
yeah,
Hopefully things change in that department. But yeah, I could see Asus and well, Xbox came out and said that they weren't doing that. They said they're
right,
building the console, so you never know.
yeah,
I do think we will see an Asus machine. I
right.
do, but the Asus machine, I feel like we're going to see an Asus machine, but it's going to be more in line with the T500,
Okay.
where it will have the Xbox chip SoC,
Hmm.
but it'll also have a slot for GPU upgrade.
Right,
I kind of feel like that was like the predecessor of what the Asus Xbox is going to be like. Like you'll be able to essentially throw an eGPU in there, or like it'll run off the Xbox chip for compatibility for everything Xbox, but then you'll also
right.
be able to upgrade your visual capabilities with a GPU. And I think does a MSI have anything out like that right now, where they're testing out like the
Like kind of like a
APUs in a PC build as
I'm
like the
not
APU.
really. I wouldn't say like they have like their own pre-built PCs, but they don't have like
The
they have like
hybrids.
their, yeah, like more like their hybrid versions, and they have of course their pretty much their console, not console, but their handheld side of
Yeah.
things, like when it comes to the MSI call. But that's pretty much it on their end, and hopefully we'll see a lot more competitors in that field soon. I could see more brands definitely trying to like enter that type of field.
Yeah. I see. I could see Asus doing it.
Hmm.
I would absolutely buy one too. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna get one. But yeah, dude, I'm pretty optimistic about what the next console generation is gonna be like, especially for Xbox, just due to the fact that they are gonna hybrid out.
Right.
I would love to see PlayStation do the same thing. I'm a big PlayStation fan. I've been playing PlayStation for a long time, and it's like I would love to see them kind of just like kick off the shackles and like really go after that bigger market
Right.
and not not confine themselves. I still think that Xbox and PlayStation should keep developing every freaking IP they have, even if it's at a
Hmm.
loss. I absolutely think that they should keep developing those. They should never be closing down studios. They should pay it forward. And if there's a million people out there that want that specific game, they should have access to that game. They're just
Right.
diluting their ecosystem by not doing that, by not providing that. Because I guarantee it, every game, there's some games are absolutely system sellers,
Oh
and
yeah, for
and like
sure.
for me as a gamer, I would have still bought every PlayStation for a SOCOM game, dude. No questions asked.
Yeah,
Just for that one
SOCOM.
game.
Yeah, it was that. God of War was a big one that
Yep.
sold a lot for the system. At a time there was Metal Gear Solid where it was like strictly on Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of system sellers. Now that Sony has been willing to kind of branch out their games, even though it's like for PC or for Microsoft, they gotta wait for so long for them to release their titles, just like Death Stranding 2. I think that's gonna release on PC sometime soon.
Death
So
Stranding
it's
2 is
like,
already on PC.
oh, is it has it released already?
Yep.
Okay, so just like Death Stranding 2,
Came out the same day
it's
as Crimson Desert. That's why nobody heard
oh
of it.
really?
Yep.
Oh, that makes it's funny because I was waiting for like to hear something about that.
Oh yeah,
But
dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, there you go. It's just like
Now you know what you're
yeah,
doing the rest of the
yeah,
weekend.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's just like that. It's just that they're focused on trying to expand on their profits. I think Sony's starting to realize that they don't have to limit their profits to just the system. And I'm
Yeah.
sure, as you know, like when it comes to Sony's hardware, they never truly make profit off the hardware itself. They make
No.
profit off of the games.
Yeah. That's what they're
Hmm.
supposed to do, but this generation has been I think I hopefully they've learned a lot of lessons, both Xbox and PlayStation, about this generation, because they have kind of, with Jim Ryan wanting to take them into this live service thing,
Hmm.
the it really disrupted what PlayStation Studios are good at, and now they have a lot
Hmm.
of wasted generation. We haven't gotten as many exclusives as we normally would throughout a generation of PlayStation. Like, this has probably been the weakest one yet. So hopefully they learn those lessons and they come out with
Hmm.
their strong suit, which is single player.
Yeah.
I think a lot of gamers are really getting tired of the live service, because you see it. Something like, gosh dang it, what's that one that came out? Arc Raiders comes out and it came out
Hmm.
strong, and then boom, it fell off. Battlefield 6 came out strong and boom, it fell off. So I think gamers are wanting that, but they're sick and tired of putting all that time into these online service games because they're just coming out too fast and there's too many that's dividing gamers' attention. Me personally, I could play one live service, but
Hmm.
I can't do multiple of them,
Right.
because I like to
No,
play
I
single
get it.
player games. I want to play single player games. So every live service that comes out, once I stop playing it, I'm done with it. I don't ever go back. So if a new one comes
Hmm.
out and it takes 40, 50, 60 hours of my time, I don't go back to it once the new one comes out. So
Yeah.
these guys are just killing off. They're just killing themselves. I mean, like, look at Marathon, that came out and that game's already done. Like, it's not gonna grow like
Yeah.
Destiny ever did. And so hopefully they learned a lesson that, like, trying to jump on the Fortnite train
Hmm.
is not gonna save them, dude. There's too many people trying to put out these online games, and it's dividing that base further and further and further away from even Fortnite.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the biggest problem when it comes to these live service games, is the fact that it's just that they try to replicate something that's already been successful in its own sense, but they have to be able to come out with something more original, which is something people want to look for, because as you know, some people feel like the whole game industry has grown stale because of that reason.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, PlayStation's strong suit is first person. So if they were to
Hmm.
tack on like a live service onto a single player game, cool. Maybe they could nurture that and grow that and continue to grow a community through that. But most of these online service games, they come out with these modes that are online only, and like people just, you either, if you don't have something to get in there, like an
Hmm.
actual, like, oh, here's a single player game for the single player guys to get in there and experience, and then like maybe get curious and check out the multiplayer. Those games are just, they're just DOA, man. They're not gonna survive in today's culture
Yeah.
of how games are being treated.
I'd say like one game I'd say that's done that. And I gotta say for the Sony side of things is Naughty Dog did pretty well when it came out with Last of Us.
Oh
Because when
yeah.
the Last of Us came out was a great single player game. And
Hmm.
then as soon as you entered the whole multiplayer realm, you're like, wow, this is pretty damn good.
Yeah. See, they should have, Naughty Dog is really, really good at their first person, or at their first player games. Like they
Hmm.
said, look, they would have had to commit all those resources to it. So, like, I get it. It makes sense that they stopped the Last of Us. What was it called again?
Last of Us Online, they tried to
Yeah,
come out with.
I know there was like a name for it. Uh, I don't
Uh,
remember.
was it maybe it was like was it Last of Us Survivor or something like that? Or um
Something like that.
yeah, I can't remember. But I do remember it was like a project that they were working
And
on.
Bungie killed that, and then Bungie killed themselves. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. You seen
Freaking
how much they cost it place Sony.
$700 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
That's
that's like,
that's not a cheap bill.
yeah, dude, they're gonna get shut down. They're gonna go the way of freaking Blue Point, man. Like, seriously, I think Bungie's used up every last ounce of their like good freaking, aura, dude. They're pretty much at the end of their rope.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's like these were the same guys that came out with Halo, and then they
And
somehow,
Destiny, bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
two
And they,
bangers. And they
yeah,
made,
and they somehow ended up into the ground. And they even made Destiny 2 like free to play,
yep.
like pretty much.
They've completely went, yeah, dude. I mean, I love Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, but holy crap, dude, they've completely ruined everything.
Yeah.
They just, all that goodwill that they had just gone, uh I don't know. I played a little bit of Marathon, and I was like, yeah, this game's not for me. Like, I was like,
Right.
I'm already into Arc Raiders. It's better.
Yeah.
But now I don't even play Arc Raiders now, so it doesn't matter. So,
Yeah, it just
all
seems
right.
like
Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, I just was gonna say like it just seems like it just seems like so many games just like come in and out so fast anymore. Like you can't even get a chance to truly experience like a lot of these games, especially when you're looking forward to these releases. Like Desert Crimson's like a great game that you can play for hours on end. Like you can play
Oh yeah.
160 hours in and still not be even
Yeah.
near complete.
Yep, exactly. Have you been playing that one?
I haven't played. It's funny. I have it, but I haven't got to play it yet.
Oh gosh, wait until you get into it,
Yeah,
man. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, I'm like 65 hours in.
that's
It's
what I've been
it's
hearing.
it's wild. It's good, but I have to play it. I have to play it. Like, some weekends I can jump in and play it. The other weekends I just gotta, I want to sim race, or I want to do something else. So it's good that we have that freedom to just play it when we're in the mood for it, because that is a that is a lot of game. That's a lot.
Yeah.
The systems are very, very deep. Play
Hmm.
it as a marathon. If you play it as a marathon, like, you're gonna absolutely love it. If you get in there and just try to rush through it, you're probably gonna hate it, because
Yeah,
there's
that
so
makes
much
sense.
nuance to that game that, like, play it as a marathon and you will love it. Play Pragmata too. That one's a very
Oh
good
yeah,
game.
yeah. Pragmata
Very
is another
good.
one I got to
That was
play.
that was a one sit. I beat that in one sitting. I was like, all day Saturday. I was like, this is badass. So it's like your typical. It's like your typical Capcom game type
Right.
length. I think it was like 14 hours ish is what
Oh,
Pragmata
okay,
was.
okay. That's not
It's
too bad.
it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. I love games like that I can get through, because I can be like, look, I still review games on the channel, my friends. But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
big into open world games, so it takes me a long time to
Oh
beat
yeah.
those. So like open world games are probably like my number one, and then sim racing, obviously. Everything else
They
is kind of
just
like,
oh, and they just added a DLC, a free DLC on Requiem. So
oh yeah, I noticed that. I
yeah.
downloaded that yesterday. I'm gonna be checking out Conan Exiles after this video, so it's like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So many choices, at least.
Oh yeah.
The best part about gaming, there's so many you can play.
Yeah. So, all right, my friends, thank you guys for coming today. It's been an awesome video, 2 hours and 33 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead
Perfect.
and we're gonna go. I'm gonna let Chris, give you his information so you can find him. I'll have links
Sure.
in the description for all of his stuff so that you guys can check him out. Chris, very cool guy. I met him at CES, like I said. So go ahead and
Okay, so yeah, so if you want to find my channel, you can easily go to youtube.com/Chris Mizo, or you can just go to my website, www.chrismizo.com, for all my social media links. And also, if you want to check out any of the products that I do have on the webpage, feel free to. And if you want to join the Discord, it's also listed on there as well.
all right, guys. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you later. Let me know in the comment section if you want more of these, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks.